Hey everyone, how are y'all? Hey Werewolf Queen, I thought y'all wasn't gonna be able to make it tonight. Wait, what up, baby? How are you? Simple Butterfly, how are you? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I just gotta get my stuff moved around here. Hey, hoping for answers. Big Al, how are you? Hey, musical. Brian R, how are you? Hey, lights. Hey, Michelle. All right, and White, what up, baby? Troll will be in the chat here in a few minutes. Okay. Werewolf Queen, thank you so much for becoming a member for 4 months. And she says, thank you for the support, everyone. Hey, Jen, how are you? Yeah, Big Al, he's got to come in tonight because Crime Crazy's not in here right now. She may be a little bit late. Hey, Darren, how are you? Hey, Esther. Okay. Let's see. All right, so let's see. Werewolf Queen says you want to let everyone know that Mom and I are safe. We still don't have power, so we'll be on rewatch crew. Mom says make a wish at 11 minutes. Oh, Werewolf Queen, if you're still in here, honey, I hope y'all are safe and warm, or as warm as you can be without power. Hey, Lawnmower Man, how are you? Okay, I'm trying to clean up my mess on my desk. I was trying to hurry up and eat. Yeah, Big Al, they've been having out in Texas all that ice and stuff. So um, she has left me a comment earlier and said that their power was out. I don't know how long it's been out though. All right. So I got the email pinned at the top if anyone needs to get in touch with me. Laura, how are you? Dallas and Central Texas is a mess. I've been watching a little bit of it on the news. So hopefully everyone out in that area is safe and warm. And don't go out if you don't have to. Oh, hoping for answers. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That was very nice of you. Yeah, stay at home if y'all. I mean, if you don't have to get out, there's no reason. Hey, last breadstick, how are you? Musical, how are you? It's too dangerous to get out in that mess. Luckily, us in Louisiana, we haven't gotten any of it. It keeps going at an angle and going up above us. All we're getting is rain. Like it's literally been raining here for like 3 days. High school students were killed near where I live due to black. Oh, Laura, I hate to hear that. Okay. Here in Melbourne, pouring down, predicted yesterday from watching spiders climb higher. I didn't know you can predict rain by watching the spiders. That's interesting. Hey, Jim J, how are you? And Jody is cool. How are you? Hey, here. Minnesota, we're smart. No one can drive on ice effectively. Too many folks say, I'll have all-wheel drive. Checked a truck. Yeah, it's a lot safer to just stay at home. Jim J, I'm doing good. Thank you. I know it was a mess. 2021, whenever we had it. It's horrible. Hey, JB, how are you? Hey, Vapor, how are you? It's been cold and raining here. It's been ridiculous. Texan syndrome. Laura, don't feel bad because people in Louisiana, it just at the mention of snow, they go crazy. They go buy up all the gas and everything off the grocery shelves, and then they think that they can get out and drive in it. Insects and similar are great at knowing it's going to rain. Musical, that's interesting. I didn't even, never thought of that. Hey, King Scarlet, how are you? All right, I'm trying to get all of my stuff pulled up here. Oh, wow. Over an inch of ice. Mm. Hey, Yorkie Mama, how are you? Hey, Stone Gator. JB wants to know if there's any other Canadians in the chat tonight. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. I've got a few different screenshots that I'm going to show y'all. There's some women, y'all, that is just going crazy over Bryan. Did y'all know that they've even started a a, a Facebook group defending Bryan? Your power has been out since 5:30. We have a lot of blankets, mama's thick jacket. Okay, well, Werewolf Queen, y'all be safe. Don't go nowhere if you don't have to. Hey, sweet Melissa, how are you? Yeah, let me. I'm just gonna go through my screenshots that I have because it's disgusting, y'all. Honestly, there's women out there that is just oh so in love with him. All right, where is my screenshots and why are they not coming up? Ah, here we go. Hey, Brown Bear, how are you? And hoping for answers, yes, it is. It's disgusting, is what it is. So this is one right here. Philly Maniac, how are you? Hey, Fern, how are you? Okay, Werewolf Queen, y'all be safe. Email me whenever you can and let me know how y'all are doing out there. All right, so this one just says Bryan Nation, not a troll, except for the fact that Bryan has people who love and care about him. Uh, Esther, I don't know if I call it an emotional illness, more like a mental illness, probably. Yes, Big Al, completely trolling. I don't understand it. This person is accused of murdering 4 kids. Like, why would you be in love with him? Or like, I understand he has family. Of course, they love and they care about him, and that's fine. That's normal. That's understandable. Uh, but I don't know if this is normal. Just everyday people, being like this. But I did tell y'all this was going to happen. If y'all remember, after he was arrested, we were talking about it. I told y'all there was going to be people like these crazy women coming out saying that they're in love with him and writing him letters. And Stone Gator, it's normal, but it's not normal. Like, it's normal because like this happens just about with every person that goes to jail for, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, that go to jail for murder. But then it's not normal. So yeah, and this is one of them. Let me see if I can find the other one. This is the Justice for Bryan Kohberger Facebook group that they have. Like, there's actually people out there that is um, defending him. Literally 12.3 thousand members. Did I see your comment about last night? No, Stone Gator, I didn't. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, missed you last night and even commented on your last live worry because you didn't have a community post. Stone Gator, I was tired last night. Um, I, I can't even remember if I even I think I might have let the mods know that I wasn't going live, and then that was it. I went to sleep. I'm gonna post the music video I'm making of him on that page. The Vapor, they're probably not gonna like it. Brew in Hell, how are you? And they say it's a weird phenomenon that anyone would trust and love someone accused of heinous crimes. It's like they think that their loved one is the key to fixing them. Ladies, no such thing as beautifully broken. I don't understand it, honestly. White Widow Baby says she put out a no live note. Okay, so I didn't even know that, White Widow Baby. I hadn't even been on Facebook on the group in several days. BK's Real Fan Club is going to be meeting the first Monday of every week in the showers of prison. Hey, Tina Marie, how are you? And what's sad, y'all, is it has got 12,000 members. Hey, Mar, how are you feeling? Wait, Mar, you're going to marry BK? Ripping my jeans, how are you? Mar, are you really okay? I'm just curious because you're saying you're gonna. Oh, okay. Mar, I was just checking on you. Jen, I still can't make my mind up if I'm hearing I or they. I listened to it. I listened to when the courts played it, and it almost sounds like it starts off as I, and then when they were playing it slow, by the end of the what sounds like I gets to the end of the word. Hey, banker guy, Cricket Moon, how are you? By the time it gets to the end of the word, it sounds like he's saying days. I still can't make up my mind. All right, let's see what this other one. Oh, yes, we got this one too. And I don't know if hey JJ, how are you? I don't know if this is the girl, what's her name? Brittany Hislop. She is the one that was posting, she likes Bryan. She's gonna write him, is writing love letters, gonna put money on his books and all this and that. Eli, how are you? And I don't know if she's the one that's created this Bryan Kohberger account, and if she did the what is this one called? Justice for Bryan Kohberger. It wouldn't surprise me if she was. Uh, it could possibly be other women doing this. Let's see. I'm kind of afraid to come here because my phone is so touchy that I accidentally time people out. And Brown Bear, we know, honey, that it's an accident whenever you do it. I've accidentally timed people out. Just the other night, I thought I took one of the mods' wrenches because I had hit my phone by accident, and the little box popped up. So this one here says, which is weird. If Bryan has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If Bryan has 100 fans, I am one of them. If Bryan has one fan, his fan is me. If Bryan has no fans, I am not on this earth. And if the world is against Bryan, I am against the world. Jay, look, how are you? Like these people are is is I don't understand these people honestly. I don't get it. It sounds like his mother. And Tonka, how are you? I don't know, y'all. These women. It's very like I know that in the past with other people who have been accused of murder or found guilty of murder, um, like I get that it happens with every one of them just about, but it's still it's weird. I just I don't understand it. Oh, J Luck, yes, there is this. I think her name is Brittany Hislop. Hold on, I wrote her name down. Yes, Brittany Hislop. J Luck, she is already putting all over Facebook that she likes Bryan. She's going to send him love letters. She's going to put money on his books. Um, and it just, whoever this person is claiming that, she's one of his fans. And if he don't have any fans and she's not on this earth, and if the world is against Bryan, then she's against the world. And like she's whoever this chick is, like she is 100% completely for Bryan. Even got a Justice for Bryan Kohberger Facebook with 12,000 12,000 members, 12.3 thousand members. I don't know if they're sounds like she's got a fight on her hands. I mean, I don't know if they're If they just can't find anybody else, or if they're wanting attention, if it's low self esteem, like I don't know. It may be a self esteem issue. I don't get it. Let's see. Oh, Stone Gator, I'm not a member. This isn't my screenshot. I would never join. Not even just to lurk. I mean, I'm sure that probably some of those 12,000 people are there to lurk. Um, Not me. Okay, probably primary those focused innocent until proven guilty. I mean, that could be, but this stuff right here, though, Bryan Nation, not a troll except for the fact that Bryan has people who live and care about him. No, Stonegater, I get it. I mean, yeah, there probably is people, um, who are there to lurk just to see what people are saying and see, um, who all's on it and all this and that and who's posting. I'm sure there is, but it's just the fact that whoever made it, it's. And then this lady, I'm sure this person here is the same person who did this. I don't get it, y'all. I really don't. But we were talking a while back though about his hands. Like, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. I was able to get a screenshot that somebody had did of his hands with the dates on it. The one on January the 3rd, that was just a few days after he was arrested. It really does look like he has chemical burns on his hands, and they started healing up over the next few days. Okay, there have to be women who have fear of commitment. I don't know. I'm just curious what these women are gonna do if something happens and this dude gets out. I hope he doesn't. But serial killing is a psychopath's version of a Harley. Mm, I mean, this dude is crazy. He's literally gonna think, especially if he ain't never had a woman, if something happens and he is able to get off of this, he's gonna be he's gonna be expecting these women to take care of him. Okay, let me jump over and slow the chat down real quick. His mom made those Facebook groups. Oh, lights. Yeah. I don't know. These women need to be careful. That's what they need to do. Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. Wait, what a baby. I'm fixing. I'm going into the studio now to do it. But the women really need to be careful, especially if he's communicating with other people outside. Hey, Judy, how are you? Um, he could very easily tell people to go watch these people. We know that that's his thing, stalking people and watching what women do and all that. So, how do we know that he's not going to have someone on the outside go watch these women and then report back to him what they're doing? Okay. All right. Okay. What a baby. If you need me to slow it down anymore, just let me know. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to show that real quick of his hands. I remember we were, you're welcome. I remember we were talking about it a while back. His hands, and I couldn't find any really good pictures of how red they actually were. Um, and this was the best side by side screenshots that I could find. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Slow the chat and into short bus. All right, let's get this down. Okay, those women would happily tell him their every move. Oh, Bruin Hill. I hope they don't do that. Seriously, that's super dangerous. I hope they don't tell him where they live at. Um, like that's super dangerous, honestly. And I would hate for someone else to get hurt by this guy, all because of whatever insecurities that they have, um, fascination they have. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's women who like bad boys and they're you know turned on by the fact that he's accused of murdering people, but it's sick, honestly. Like, it's a sick fascination, and I just hope that they're careful so nothing bad happens to them. Oh yes, Eli, I forgot to grab the. Thank you for reminding me of that. Um, the Oregon torture guy. He was. They found him back at the house where he had uh, tortured the other woman that's still in the hospital, the one he tied up and hurt and all that. They ended up finding him there. Uh, they believed that he was underneath the house, and before they can get him out, he ended up shooting himself. And they got him out, took him to the hospital, and then a short time later at the hospital, he did die. So, I hate to hear it. Someone would do that to themselves, but at least he can't hurt anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So and the lady, I don't know if she got out of jail. The Tina Marie Jones woman, I don't know if she's still in jail for helping him or what, but um, it's a good thing though that he can't hurt anybody. Okay, the women only want attention. Best to ignore them, don't you think? Yeah, JJ, I agree with that. But I mean, do you think Brian's gonna ignore him? And he's loving the attention. Bruin Hill, I hope she does too. Yeah, she's still in there. I don't fully know her condition. I don't know um, if they're ever gonna come out and say what her condition is. But she was pretty bad. Like um, he choked her till she was unconscious. He had her tied up at her wrist and ankles, and uh, he did her really bad. Simple Butterfly, the Oregon torture guy killed two men before himself. Mhm. Oh damn! How did I miss that? Hmm. Okay, so yesterday her condition was still critical. Okay. Oh, the rest of us ignore these women, not BK. Okay, JJ, I got what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not even going to join that group. Not even to lurk. Like it's not worth my time to see what it would literally make me sick to go into a group like that, even if I was just going in there to lurk and see people defending this guy. I get the whole thing. You're innocent until proven guilty. Hey, Scott Black, how are you? Um, I totally get that, but this guy has been accused of killing 4 kids. I don't even want to go and watch people defend him at all. Crystal, how are you? Bryan is a very handsome. He's gonna get hopefully heaps of attention and stuff like tea by Bubba. Scott, yeah. I seen somebody else say that in the chat a minute ago. More than likely, yeah, he will. Um, oh, and Big Al says they'd already made him Mr. March on the calendar. I think right now though they have him where he's not around the other prisoners, don't they? Hey John B, how are you? That is just ugh. Yeah. Okay, he's gonna get thrown into solitary for getting Bubba and meat. I'm sure while this whole court thing is going on, he'll probably be away from all the prisoners, all the rest of them. Um, and then once, if he is found guilty and his sentencing and all that is done and over with, wherever he goes to prison at, he's not going to be in protective custody any longer. So, you know, handsome in a creepy mess murder kind of way. And BK is not. No, he's really not. He's not handsome. Like he's not even good looking at all. Like there's nothing. Like the dude is super creepy looking. He's got his eye, he looks too much like Ted Bundy. Philly Maniac, thank you so much for the super sticker. That was very nice of you. Yeah, Crime Crazy did say that she's going to try to drop in um, if she has time to. That's the one reason why I scheduled the live 30 minutes later to try to give her more time to see if she's going to be able to come in. But she is doing something really important today. Yeah, Jim J, she's okay. They just had something going on with their business that they had to get taken care of. So um, she said if she got done with it all, she would jump in. Okay, my birthday is in February, so Mr. March just doesn't cut it. Mar, what day is your birthday? I know you've probably told me, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. They get high profile. They do get PC because they will be a target. But I'm wondering though, like I don't think he's gonna get protective custody. Do y'all think he will after his sentencing? My son's birthday. Oh, Jim J, wish your son a happy birthday from all of us. I don't think he will after the sentencing. I really don't. Um, now, like, I get why, but I don't think after that sentencing, he's on his own. Okay, February the 9th. Okay. Let's see, Feb 9th. Okay. So yeah, all I know is he better learn how to protect himself between now and then. Allegedly, hey honey, how are you? Allegedly, he's done what's it, boxing or MMA or some shit like that. Um, I don't know. Yeah. All I know is he better learn to defend himself because I'm pretty sure there's going to be people in there who's going to try to get to him. But as far as him looking good, like I was saying a minute ago, no, he doesn't. There's nothing about him that is nice looking. The dude is creepy as hell. True Crime and Faith, how are you? Hey Phil, how are you? Lori and CJ, how are you tonight? Um, yes, Lori and CJ, I do believe most high profile ones they do get solitary. I don't know about Lori Vallow. I don't know if she did or not. I do remember some lady that was in jail with with Lori that had talked about her after she got out. Um, that they were um, in there together and they talked and all this and that. But as far as the dude looking nice, no. His eyes, like I said, he looks too much like Ted Bundy, and you know the eyes are just a dead ass giveaway that the dude's crazy. And yeah, Judy, he will. He'll have a target on his back. Big Al, you never made it to that part of it. All right. Only a face a mother could love. Wait, but maybe that is true. Death row appeals 10 years. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. Okay, if he's on death row, I'm not sure. No, I think death row is like one man sales. I don't know. I don't think they have cellmates on death row. But what about? Because don't they get like 1 day? I mean, 1 day, 1 hour a day that they get out on the yard and all this and that. I'm pretty sure that's going to be by himself too. I don't know. Maybe he'll like death row. Who knows? He's creepy like that. Esther, that is BK is a version of Ted Bundy that someone ordered through Wish. I have to agree with Esther, y'all. Hey, Izzy, how are you? Um, yeah, I don't think Scott Peterson. I think his got overturned. His death penalty or death sentence. Vegan diet cooked in a baking pan. Yeah. All right, so let me grab this real quick. And this, I was going to share this with y'all last night, and it's talking about an Idaho murder. Uh, Idaho murderer was chasing a thrill kill, according to a forensic expert. And I was going to share it with y'all last night, and then I was just, yeah, I was so tired last night. I do apologize for not going live, but I was just super tired. Let's see, Lois, did you see that there were people saying that there's a movie on Peacock called Sick, and it has a lot of similarities to the Idaho 4 killing? No, millennials, I didn't. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down too. Wait, it's on Peacock? Okay, it's called. Wait, where did it go? Hold on, let me find my comment real quick, y'all. Sick. Okay. You have to watch that. Okay. All right. Let me read this to y'all real quick. And JJ, they said it was called, the movie is called Sick. And it's on Peacock, and they're saying that it has a lot of similarities to the Idaho 4 killings. Let's see. I have to. Scott, if I don't get sleep, I get very cranky, and just like agitated, and I want to get an attitude with people and all that. Last night I was just, oh my god, like I wasn't home all day. Um, I had a lot of stuff I had to do yesterday. I didn't sleep a whole lot the night before that, and I was just like, I told Troll, I'm just gonna have to take the night off. You like it when I'm cranky? I feel horrible when I'm cranky though. I really do. And I don't want to come on here all cranky and all that. All right, so it just says real quick, the murders of the four University of Idaho students in the early morning hours of November 13th was likely a thrill kill, according to a leading forensic psychiatrist. Kaylee, Maddie, Zana, and Ethan were all stabbed to death when an intruder broke into the shared student house in the town of Moscow. Bryan, a 28-year-old criminology PhD student, was arrested on December the 30th and has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder along with burglary. Kohberger's legal team has indicated that he will plead not guilty and will seek to clear his name. Like, this dude is just, you know, so egotistical. And Philly, yes, Troll didn't. He didn't want me to be cranky. So, hey, William, how are you? Hey, Zara. So, speaking to Newsweek, Ian Lamoureux, a forensic psychiatrist and clinical assistant professor of psychiatry at the University of Arizona, said initial evidence suggested the murders could have been a thrill kill. He said, I have not seen sufficient information to establish a motive at this stage. Currently, this appears to be a thrill kill. And y'all, that is just like you go out and you just do this to somebody just for the thrill of it. Like, that is someone who is completely they're crazy. That's just all there is to it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. The dude is fucking crazy if he did this for a thrill kill. The thrill could be emotional excitement or sexual. It could also be the thrill of executing the perfect murder. And a lot of people's been saying that. Crane Hill Gal, how are you? A lot of people has been saying that it's almost like, especially with like his background and what he's studying, that that's what he was trying to do, was pull off the perfect murder. Okay, Lamoureux, who emphasized that Kohberger has yet to be convicted of any crime, continued. It seems as though that there is some speculation, given his background in criminal studies, that this could be the motive, the thrill of outsmarting the authorities. The adrenaline rush and excitement of the killings is the end goal. So you go out and you kill someone for the excitement. I don't get it. I mean, if that's what he did, like, this dude is just fucking nuts. A millennial, I do believe that he was a stalker as well. I don't think that this was just something that he was just driving around someone's neighborhood and was like, oh damn, I like the way that house looks. I'm just gonna go up in there and kill somebody for the thrill of it. I think that this was very, uh, very well thought out and planned. Hey Tifa, how are you? See, I heard about Marlon. Just wanted to stop in and say I'm sorry that happened to him. I hope he's all right and he'll go. Yeah, he's doing better, Tifa. He's just still a little bit sore, but he's being babied and he's eating up the attention. But I do fully believe that he probably, yeah, he this was very well thought out, planned, um, and he wanted to commit the perfect murder and then prove that he can get out of it. Jim J, he was attacked by. We have a new neighbor up the road who don't believe in keeping their dog on their own property, and the dog came down here and attacked Milo, and we had to take him to the vet the other day. Okay, I'm glad to hear. Yes, Sifa, thank you. He's doing good though. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. All right. So let me find my spot where I left off. Okay, so the adrenaline rush and the excitement of the killings is the end goal. His online encounters with the victims, if guilty and accurate, could represent stalking, hunting behavior that killers of this category exhibit as a way of stoking excitement and anticipation of the murders, the thrill of the hunt. It's dude, honestly. I hate this dude more and more every time I read about him, honestly. Cricket Moon, you have a wonderful night. What is my favorite color? Amar, black. So, according to the psychiatrist, the murderer likely took sadistic pleasure in the suffering inflicted on their victims. He explained creating fear, terror, and or pain in their victims will increase the intensity of the pleasure derived from their acts. This intensely personal and unusually violent nature of the murders, a large fixed blade such as a K-bar military knife, supports this. This process of hunting and stalking their victims, accumulating in violent homicides, is intensely pleasurable to these individuals, analogs to the rush of narcotic drugs. So, was this like his thing? Because we know that. Hey, Tammy, C, how are you? Um, we knew he had a drug problem before. So, was he substituting killing people now for drugs? That almost the way this dude is saying that is that instead of him doing the drugs, he's just going to start going out and just murdering people and hurting them and making them suffer and getting a thrill out of it and excited over it and all that. Instead of I don't get it, y'all. Crazy ass people in this world. Lamoureux emphasized that his comments were speculative and informing, as information regarding the defendant is extremely limited at this time. He added that the authorities have been uncharacteristically non-forthcoming with information, which suggests that they are very concerned about protecting the integrity of the investigation itself and the subsequent prosecution. Police have yet to uncover the murder weapon used to kill the four students, though they did recover a knife sheath at the crime scene. Cara Kernodle, the mother of Zana, has indicated that she does not want Kohberger to face the death penalty if convicted. Speaking to News Nation, she wrote, I want to see him pay for what he's done. I'm not interested in the death penalty. That's not who I am. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that he should spend the rest of his days in prison. And the City of Moscow Police Department has been contacted for comment, but obviously they can't say anything because, hey, Paige, how are you? Moscow Police Department, they can't say anything. There's like the whole gag order, so they can't even speak about it. Let's see. Okay. All right. Give me a second because I do have another one that just popped up in my inbox. See, I think Bryan left Dylan and Bethany alone because he did not want them. See, Bruin Hill, yeah, I'm like you. They say I'm too wicked to just be satisfied with life in prison if that was done to my child. Hey, Tree Baby, how are you? Yeah, you mess with my kids, and yeah, it's life in prison because if there's, I mean, not life in prison, death penalty because if there's life in prison, no, I'm not even gonna go there. Can we have a Milo cam, please, while you read stories? Where is Milo? I think Milo's outside right now. What? Oh, Troll said he's on the couch. I really should start a Milo Instagram account. For real. Okay. All right, so this was just sent to me. I haven't even got to read it yet. A kitty cam. Yeah, I really should do uh, a Milo Instagram. I mean, he's already got a lot of fans on here. Mm. Tammy, see, I watched one of hers. It wasn't a live though, so I don't know if it was from tonight or not. But it was talking about Linda Avenue. Is that the one you're talking about? About the people who live on Linda Avenue and all that? Okay, yeah. Or White Avenue. Okay, yeah. I did watch it then. All right, so this one is from Fox News, y'all. It says Idaho murders BTK serial killer on solitary confinement and Bryan Kohberger. And he says, I know how he feels. So the BTK serial killer says that he can relate to the loneliness Bryan Kohberger is staring at behind bars, while confirming he never spoke with the criminology student who studied under his true crime co-author. Dennis Rader, the bind, torture, kill, murderer, spent months in custody awaiting court proceedings, just as the Idaho murder suspect is doing now. 1 second, y'all. All right. Okay, y'all. I had to mute for just 1 second because I had to sneeze. Let me see where I. All right, so since I spent from February of 2005 to April of 2005 in a cell by myself, I know how he feels, he told Fox News Digital, very lonely. Rader met with his defense attorney every day, he added, and found ways to pass the time. During frequent meetings with his public defenders, Rader wanted to go through everything prosecutors had on him, even though he had confessed on the day of his arrest, according to his daughter, Carrie Ralston. He was going back and forth between pleading not guilty and guilty, she told Fox News Digital. And honestly, I feel sorry for his daughter. Like that she has to go the rest of her life with people knowing that um her dad did that. Like I'm sure she loves him because that is her dad, but I still feel bad for her because there's always going to be those people out there who is going to want to look at her instead of looking at her for the person that she is and how she treats people in the way we should look at people. They're going to look at her as being his daughter. Zara, I don't know if her mama's still alive or not. All right. So Kohberger, according to the prosecutors in Pennsylvania, may have weighed extradition out of the need to know how investigators established a probable cause after the crime. Once in custody, Rader began receiving letters and artwork from strangers, which is what uh, Bryan is doing. As soon as letters started coming in, he said, I read a lot of the Bible and wrote poetry. His writings during that time included an infamous missive titled Black Friday, seemingly about his arrest and signed the suspect. Dad had fan mail very early, and I'm seeing it being sent to Bryan, Brosnan said. and art being made like women are in love with these guys. Okay, so this is just some of the stuff that women sent. Oh no, this was hand drawn envelopes sent from Dennis Rader to his daughter. Hey Jan, how are you? Kohberger, 28, is being held without bond in the Latah County Jail in Moscow, Idaho, the same town where he allegedly snuck into a six-bedroom home in the middle of the night and ambushed four young people, some of whom may have been sleeping at the start of the attack. Okay. Police have identified the victims as 21-year-olds Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez and 20-year-olds Zana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin. All but Chapin were housemates, and all four participated in campus Greek life. Chapin, who lived in the Sigma Chi frat house nearby, was visiting for the night and was dating Kernodle. Two other young women inside were not attacked, including one who told police that she saw a masked man leaving through the sliding door. Kohberger, who is reportedly a recovering heroin addict with socially awkward tendencies, studied for his master's degree in criminal justice at DeSales University under Dr. Catherine Lamslin. Shit, y'all, I cannot talk tonight. Catherine Ramslin, an expert on serial killers who co-authored a book with Rader. Rader, like Kohberger, had a degree in criminal justice. Although criminology students commonly send messages to Rader, the inmate told Fox News Digital that the Idaho stabbing suspect never tried to reach out to him. After attending DeSales, Kohberger went on to seek a PhD in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University, just a few miles from the home where police allege he brutally stabbed four University of Idaho undergrads on November the 13th. WSU has specialized complex social interaction lab that includes a database of police body cam footage for more than 5 departments. A WSU spokesman last month told Fox News Digital that Kohberger was never granted access, and Moscow police said that they don't share the video with the program. But Kohberger did apply for an internship with local police, investigators allege, and according to the documents obtained by the New York Times, he tried to gain access to the CSI lab directly by applying for a graduate research assistantship position. Oh, why is my shit freezing? Hold on one second, y'all. All right, so although Kohberger allegedly stalked the King Road victims' home a dozen times before the slayings, it does not appear that he had a connection to 3 noise complaints there over the past semester or the resulting body cam videos. 2 of the 3 complainants on the evening of September the 1st and in the early morning of September the 2nd are identified in the police reports as neighbors of the King Road home in Moscow. Both calls came from houses on Willenta Drive, the street behind the 6-bedroom off-campus rental house. An earlier incident report from August the 16th does not include a complainant's name. However, the responding officer on body cam video repeatedly mentions that the loud music is disturbing neighbors. So after the slayings, Kohberger finished a semester at WSU, both in his PhD program and as a teaching assistant. Pennsylvania police and the FBI arrested him on December the 30th at his parents' house in the Poconos, more than 2,500 miles away from the crime scene. He waived extradition and made his first appearance before the Idaho judge on January the 5th. Kohberger is due back in court June the 26th for the start of his preliminary hearing, which could take 4 to 5 days. In a rare public statement speaking through his former Pennsylvania attorney, Jason LaBar, Kohberger said that he's looking forward to being exonerated. The dude is just so egotistical. So Kohberger's Idaho attorney is Kootenai County Public Defender Ann Taylor plans to challenge the probable cause for his arrest during the June proceedings. So he never tried to get in touch with the BTK killer. But I'm pretty sure studying under Ramslin. And hold on one second, I gotta get this off of my computer. Studying under Ramslin, I'm pretty sure he knew a lot about him. Okay. All right, one second, y'all. Gotta get all of this off of here. Okay, I thought he had, but the BT killer never got back to him. I don't know. I mean, I would for sure thought that he would have tried to get in touch with him, especially if he's studying under Ramslin. It would have, I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Or maybe he did and just, Raider doesn't want to come out and say that he did. Maybe he doesn't want to, uh, have any type of connection with the guy. Okay. All right, y'all. If y'all have not done so, please hit the thumbs up. And Mara, I forgot to ask, honey. What would you need my favorite color for? I'm being nosy. Oh, Jim J, that is true. Maybe he did under a different name and Raider just didn't know that it was him. Thank you, Lori and CJ. Do you think Lawnmower Man? Yes, I do. And I'm actually going to be playing that video here in just a few minutes. Once I get done with all of my Bryan stuff. P Fox, how are you? Jim J, that's a good thing. A good thought. I mean, he very well could have sent him, letters or whatever, and it be under a different name because he wouldn't have, you know, maybe he had an idea that he was going to do this. Um, and he didn't want himself connected to Raider, and just sent something under some fake name or a friend's name or anything like that. All right. Let me grab this last one real quick. Because there's been a lot of talk about an informant. It really does, Jim J. It makes you wonder if he did. Okay. All right, let me grab this last one real quick. Every time it rains, y'all, the damn internet starts freezing up. Okay, you could have used another name for the professor. Should have let him write directly to be under her name. I know some professors let me do that when they were busy, say, writing another book. Hey, Jessica Lynn, how are you? I don't know. That's very interesting. That's something to think about, Jim J. Honestly, that which we would never know if it came from him if it did go under a different name. There's no way unless he used his mom and daddy's address, but that would maybe be the only way. Also, I have tonight, and I may go ahead and show that real quick instead of reading this. Let me go grab it real quick. Oh, shit. I gotta find it. Oh, here we go. So I've got the defendant's response to the plaintiff's request for discovery. Just got to make sure I got the right page on here. And P Fox, if it's the same video that I'm thinking about, because I did watch a video, I don't know who the creator was, but they were talking about the white truck that pulled in and parked behind a hoodie guy. Hey, Moonvale, how are you? Kaylee and Maddie, as they were walking down the street in the surveillance video where they were talking about, like, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? On that same video, the guy had followed the route that was given in the probable cause and went off on this other road, and I cannot remember the name of the road right now, but there was like several trailers, like mobile homes along the road, and at one of those mobile homes there was a white 4-door truck there. Looked a lot like the same white 4-door truck that was at that pulled in behind them that night. Looks a lot like almost. I told Troll, I was like, very easily that could be the same truck. Wait, what? Because there's a very important question, and you'll be very happy. Oh, okay. Thank you, more. The truck that went up Walenta that was caught on camera, I can't tell if that's the same truck though. That's on the video footage of Kaylee, Maddie, and Hoodie Guy when they're walking. And I can't tell if it's the same truck that's parked at that mobile home. Because the truck that's on camera on Walenta looks like it's an extended cab truck, where the other two trucks clearly are a white 4-door truck. The white 4-door truck that's at the mobile home has black handles on the door. The one in the video footage, it's really hard to tell. I mean, it does look like that truck has black door handles on it. But it's so hard to tell because of the type of video that it is. So I don't know if that's the same video. Because like I said, I don't know who it was whose video it was I was watching. I just seen it and clicked on it. But it's very interesting, that they found that truck and think that they're thinking maybe Bryan could have stopped there, took a shower, something like that like he knows these people. Okay, did you see the story about the FBI agent who was telling BK and his dad to PA lost him? Big Al, they lost him like for 14 hours. He left his house, and they thought he was going one direction, and they thought he was just going to go straight east, and he ended up going south down through Colorado, that way back up, and they went to scrambling, trying to find, like, looking at all the plate readers and all that, and finally his car, a plate reader caught his car in Loma, Colorado. And allegedly his dad told... Oh, wait, this ain't the right page. His dad actually told the mechanics that were doing the work on the car that he thought that they were going to go the one way, but then Bryan was like, no, because the weather's so bad, and all that. So we want to go below the weather. And that's the reason why they went south. Okay, so I got the page. Pull it up here. And like I said, this is the defendant's response to the plaintiff's request for discovery. Go through that real quick. I almost forgot that I had this. Okay, there are thousands of attractive young women who live in Pullman and Moscow, and BCK chooses to stalk two of them who not only live together, but do so in a very accessible house. Crazy. This whole The whole case, y'all, is crazy. I just don't. A Lawnmower Man, I thought they were to begin with, but the FBI said that they didn't ask them to do that. It makes sense if they would have, but they're saying that they didn't direct them to. The Krista, how are you? Okay, so this is just the state of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger, and it's you can see the case number up here. And all that. Hey, doggone crazy, how are you? See, I think the video you were watching was Doctor. Okay, it could have been doggone crazy. Like I said, I seen it, I clicked on it, I didn't even uh, pay attention to the name. And hey, Annie, how are you? I know I've seen the guy's another video that he did, and I know he's always pointing at the computer screen with a Sharpie marker in his hand. That's how I knew it was like the same guy I'd watched before, but I don't know if that's who it was, but it could have been. Usually I just scroll through YouTube when I'm watching it on TV. I just see a title that I'm interested in and just click on the video. And the Krista, yes, I'm doing good. Thank you. Moonville, she has some stuff going on. Well, it would be her Thursday. Um, she told me she wasn't going to be in here Wednesday. I literally thought she meant her Wednesday and not my Wednesday, but she has some stuff going on. She said that if she does get done with it in time, that she would be dropping. She would be dropping in. So hopefully before the night's over with, she'll drop in and say hi. All right, so it says, come now on Bryan C. Kohberger by and through their attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby submits the following response to the plaintiff's request for discovery. There are no books, papers, documents, photographs, or copies or portions thereof in the possession of the defendant at this time, which will be submitted at the time of trial. The defendant may use any books, papers, documents, photographs, or copies or portions thereof which may have been disclosed by the state in the discovery materials. Okay, I got to grab because that's the bottom of this one. Let me grab this one. Wait, hold on. What does that say this thing? No. All right. Hey, can y'all see this okay? I want to make sure that I zoom in enough. Angel, how are you? All right, and then number 2, it says that there are no results or reports of physical or mental examinations or scientific tests which are in the possession of the defendant at this time, which will be submitted at the time of trial. Hey, Carrie, how are you? The defendant may use the results or reports of physical or mental examinations or scientific tests which have been disclosed by the state in the discovery materials. The defendant may also call as a witness people that were disclosed as a potential witness by the state and any other persons who were named by the state within other discovery materials. When available, the defendant will provide the names and addresses of any additional witnesses who will be called at trial on behalf of the defendant. And it was dated January the 30th of 2023, and it's just got Ann Taylor's signature on it. One second, y'all. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to share that with y'all as well. You don't know about Ann Taylor, Lawnmower Man? I don't know. I think it's crazy how things were done, honestly. I think that they could have found another public defender that was qualified in death penalty cases or had experience in death penalty cases in another part of the state, that could have represented Bryan. I really think that they could have. If they can move trials to other parts of the state and a change of venue, then they can very well bring in an attorney from another part of the state. I mean, the state's already paying the public defenders, and I'm pretty sure that if he had to drive any length of distance, then they would give him mileage compensation. It's just, I think that that's what they should have done. And now Brian and them don't have anything. They don't have anything to give to the state. So what am I looking for now? Okay, I want to show y'all this too real quick. So Xana's mama, I don't know if anybody's heard or not, uh, but she did get arrested. Mm, 6 years ago today, he told me he loved me one last time. Oh, Big Al, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, let's zoom in where everybody can see this. Okay, so you can see her name up at the top, and it's from Vine Link. She was arrested on January the 31st, and they got her for criminal trespassing in the first degree. What I don't understand, she's got a $250 bond, but how's she going to post bond if she has a warrant? Which doesn't, like, they should have held her. Oh, Angel, you did hear about it? Hey, Linda, how are you? Okay, this is what people say scumbag lawyer. Yeah. Just don't stand in that county about bringing in a jury from another one. They could have just brought in a defense attorney from exactly Zara. I mean, they're already, it's a public defender. The state's already paying the public defender. Bring one from another state. I'm not another state, y'all. Another county, another part of the state. Valerie, how are you? Um, it would have made better sense. They could have brought one because she's from the northern part of Idaho. They could have brought one from the southern part of Idaho. He wouldn't have had to drive every day to go visit with Bryan. I get he would have had to have met with him a couple of times, to get stuff together and meet him and all that. Um, but there's other ways that he could have talked to Bryan. I very seriously doubt that every inmate in that jail has an attorney that lives right there close. I'm pretty sure they have a way to do Zoom calls or something like that. Okay, I just pissed the nurse off because I know what I'm talking about and I don't take to condescending people well. I'm stupid. I know. Mar, are you being a bad patient? Let's see. I'm turning it into something positive here. My customer turns 90 today. I'm driving to his winter home to him myself and bringing his family dinner on site. Oh, Big Al, that is awesome. I'm catching up here real quick. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Okay, I just thought BK would have at least had one attempt to provide an alibi, unless the idea is to look framed or take a plea. Yeah, and the Chris, if he's provided any type of alibi, um, they haven't said it. Yeah, Valerie, she did. She got arrested on January the 31st for criminal trespass. So she's got a $250 bond. She's got a warrant. I figured they would have held her, but apparently not. So I'm gonna be okay. Mar, you have a good night, honey. Okay, wait, they supposedly had her assigned prior to his release from Bruin Hill. Yeah, he was arrested on January. I'm sorry, December the 30th, and she already knew at that point that she was going to be his attorney as soon as he was arrested. Hey, Miss Chewy, how are you? Mar, do me a favor. Send me a message on Twitter if you don't mind. I think I follow you on there, but I want to make sure it's the right one. And Andrew, you're very welcome. I mean, I would think with her being arrested, she already had a warrant that they would hold her. Hopefully they do, and hopefully she gets help. Like, she really, truly, y'all, she needs help with her addiction. And I just pray that she gets the help that she needs for her addiction before something really bad happens to her. Just one thing to say, she has defended parent, but I haven't seen or discovered that she hasn't overstepped. Okay. Angel, she really does. Like, she, and I'm not going to bash her. I'm not going to talk bad about her for her addiction and what, her prior arrests were for and all that. But the lady's got a lot on her. Um, she had the addiction, she had the prior arrest, she's got all these court dates. Um, she missed her last court date, and that's what her warrant was for. So she was basically on the run until she got arrested a few days ago. So she had all that. The arrest and the court dates and the addiction, one don't help the other. She has the addiction, which is why she got the court dates, why she got arrested and got the court dates. I'm pretty sure she used the addiction to try to drown out all of the arrests and the court dates. And then what happened to Zana didn't help the situation. I'm pretty sure it made the addiction worse. Then her lawyer stops defending her and starts defending the man who is accused of murdering her daughter. Doesn't help things. I'm pretty sure the addiction became worse with that. And now she's arrested again. She I don't think I mean, like, yeah, she's got to go, and she's got to be held responsible for her all of her other arrests. Like, she needs to get all of those taken care of, and get those, done and over with, and get those behind her. Pay your fines, do your time, whatever it is that she needs to do, she needs to get it done. But she also needs to go to a rehab. She needs to go, I'm sure, into detox, get out of detox, go straight into a rehab. She needs to have a really good support system. She needs to stay, whatever they give her to do, whether it's therapy outside of the rehab, whatever it is, like, she needs to do that. And hopefully she does. It's just, she's, and it's everything that she's got on her is no excuse for the addiction. But it's not helping the addiction. It's only going to make it worse. So hopefully, y'all just keep her in your prayers, because she really does need prayer. But hopefully she gets help, because I would hate to see on the news one day that something bad happened to her. something much worse than just getting arrested for criminal trespass. So even if we don't know her and we only know her through this case, we can still pray for her and hope the best for her. Let's see. I really hope she's able to overcome some her addiction. It's scary losing her. Yeah, it just the whole Zana thing makes it worse, and just like I said, the the whole lawyer thing. Just imagine how that is. I'm pretty sure it probably wouldn't have been as hard if it was a totally different situation and the lawyer couldn't represent her anymore because she had to represent another person that would have caused a conflict of interest, but they wouldn't have murdered her child. But this man has been accused of murdering her daughter. And one attorney that has represented her for a long time that she's met several times and she's known for a while, and this attorney probably knows a great deal of information about her. And Cara even says she signed power of attorney over to her, whether it was to her and Taylor personally, or it was to the public defender's office or whatever. The fact is, she still trusted him. And now she's representing the man who killed her daughter. I don't understand the whole warrant thing because in Louisiana, if you have a warrant and you get picked up for something else and they see that you got a warrant, your ass ain't getting a bail and getting out. You're going to stay in jail because they're going to hold you on the warrant that you got. So I don't know how she's getting a $250 bond. Okay, there's a woman who has left posts in various groups trying to find a way to get in touch with her. She wants to get her in detox rehab at a place in California. Yes, we need to pray for her. Paige, that would be awesome. I honestly, I don't know how to get in touch with her. Um, I would love to get in touch with her and talk to her and let her know that there are people out there who care about her and want to see good things happen for her and want to see her do better and get the help. I don't know how to get in touch with her. And as far as she's talked to Ashley Banfield. Some news places sometimes will make you sign something saying that you only talk to them or give your story to them. I don't know. I'm not saying that they did that with her. I don't know if they do stuff like that. But it seems like they're the only people who know how to get in touch with her. Okay, what little baby, that's fine. We can do that. Okay, she's been estranged from her daughters for years since one of them was 3 years old from what one report said. We're trying to dictate a bunch of decisions, legal and career, based on this. Okay, oh dear, Mark. I'm just catching it real quick. Okay, I wish there was a way we could get this information to her or whatever her new defender is. This lady really wants to help. Paige, I do know that she has a new attorney. What is it? Is it Christopher Schwartz? I believe is her new attorney. Yeah, I wouldn't give her money. Um, she needs to go to some type of treatment. All right, Steffa, you have a good night. Oh, I could do that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Check your email. I just saw something posted. Okay, thank you, Stone Gator. I might know a way. Hey, Crime Crazy. I might know a way to get in touch with her. I think, Paige, I've got the hold on. I'm gonna have to go back and find the page. Uh, let me go. I have the court documents. I gotta find the folder, my court document folder that has the new attorney's name on it. I believe it was Christopher Swartz. Sima, how are you? But I might have. Oh, wait, is this it? This may be it. Out of all of. Yes. Out of everything in the court document folder, nothing was renamed except for her page. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to pull it up here. But I do believe that's his name. Let me get the paper pulled up here where I can see it. But I may have another way to see about getting in touch with her. Deline, how are you? Wait, what a baby. I may know who to talk to get in touch with her. Or that may know who to talk to get in touch with her. Oh shit. Hold on. Okay. So Page, yes, his name is Christopher D. Swartz. He's a let's see, conflict public defender. And there is his address. swartzlawservice@gmail.com. Okay, so for all we know, Cara could have had Anne contact Zana in hopes of getting Zana to try to reconnect with her mom as an aid to her recovery. Like I said before, Anne has insight for sure to Zana. Yeah, I mean, she could have. I don't know. I just had this tugging at my heart nonstop to help as a community. We should do whatever we can to help people. Paige, that is true. Okay. Okay, the jail she's at now, Scarlett, is a good way to write her. Miss Amir, how are you? Yeah, Angel, I'm gonna have to find out how long she's gonna be there. Because I don't think she's in the one where she has the warrant out of. So I'm gonna have to find out. But that is her attorney's email address. Paige, if you want to write it down, if you know who the lady is or how to get in touch with the lady who was wanting to get her help. But like I said, I do think I know someone else, and almost, oh shit, that's a little bit too blurry. But I do know someone else that may be able to help me get in touch with her somehow. Or maybe someone that she's, some of her family or something like that. I honestly, Zara, I wouldn't give her money. Um, I mean, if she's in jail, you can put money on her books. But if she was to get out, I wouldn't. Anthony, how are you? Fern, I skimmed through it earlier today because I've been super busy. I did look through it, but I haven't got to like uh read everything, and I know that there's a video on there from Mr. Gonzalez, and I haven't got to watch it yet. Hey, Marissa. Okay, Linda says she would give her money if there was a GoFundMe. Carmen, how are you? Yeah, I wouldn't give her the money because um and like, I'm not trying to sound mean or anything like that, but if you give an addict money, um, you really don't know what they're going to use it on. So, um, yeah, like with her bad habits, like I'm trying to be as nice and respectful to her as I can be. If she was, if she was in, uh, if she was in rehab and you know she could get money or have money for have a good night more, for stuff that she needed in there. If anything that she needed in there, um, I would then. But not if she's out on the street and she hasn't gotten help and all that. I wouldn't. Okay, but Kaylee's dad is confirming it's the family who put the PG up. Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I kind of skimmed through it. I'd read on a Facebook post in one of the groups that there was a Facebook page or group or whatever out there that the Gonzalez's had done, and I seen where they had the picture of Murphy on there and all that. Like I said, I didn't get to really read anything on it or even watch the video. She needs counseling and acceptance in a rehab. Chris, I hope she gets it, honestly. Because while she's in rehab, she's going to get the counseling that she needs. They're going to help her, not just with her addiction, but they would help her with everything that's went on. What happened to Zana. Like, they would help her get through all that. And help her with it and help her, teach her how to cope with it, where she wouldn't have to depend on drugs. Because this lady, she's got a lot on her, honestly. So y'all just keep her in your prayers. Pray that she does what's right and she gets the help that she needs. Okay, being sober means facing everything that's happened, including not being there. That is true, Paige. Yeah. And she's got to get past the sickness first. Like I said the other night, um, a lot of addicts, that's what they fear the most, the sickness, the detox. I think once she gets past that and she starts getting her counseling and her help and all that, I think she would become a better person. Paige, I know. I don't understand. What is the point of bashing her? You know, she's got drug charges. But at the same time, her daughter was murdered. And even if she wasn't in her daughter's life, she still loved her. So there's no point in bashing her, honestly. And she needs help. I'm not gonna knock her for needing help or the charges that she has. Yeah, imagine she feels a lot of guilt and sadness. And see, Krista, that I'm sure she does. And that would help her too. That would help her get past all that. Or not past it, but it would help her cope with it, is what I should say. Carmen, you're very welcome. But at the same time, it's got to be something that she wants. She's got to want to get help, and she's got to want to get off the drugs. Like, she's got to want it. She's got to want it, and she's got to have the mindset and be willing to fight through all the demons and do the work. She's got to want to do that, because if she doesn't want to do it, she's not going to. She can go to rehab 1,000 times. If she doesn't want to get off of the drugs, she's just going to go to rehab for no reason because she's just going to go right back out and do it again. Okay. Cara sounds like a case for Dr. Phil. He could help her more than most, in my opinion. I don't usually think of him, but it sounds like either Dr. Phil or what's the other what's the other doctor? Dr. Drew? I don't know if he could help her. Dr. Phil probably would be the best one. Hey, Lori P, how are you? Exactly, Anthony. You can only help the ones that want to help themselves. If they don't want it, like I said, she'll just go to rehab, get out, and go right back to the drugs because pretty sure that's all she knows. That's the only way she knows how to cope with her problems. So, okay, so it is Dr. Drew. I was trying to think of, I could see the dude's face in my mind, but I couldn't remember if that was his name or not. But yeah, either Dr. Drew or Dr. Phil. I don't know which one would be able to help her the most. You know, I think Dr. Phil probably would. I'm sure, that he's talked about this case. So maybe he could help her. I don't. Okay. If you're away from the stuff long enough from being forced, it can give you time to think about it too. Anything is possible, just not probable. Lori, I'm doing good. Thank you. Yeah, Krista, I like Dr. Drew better than I do Dr. Phil. But if Dr. Phil can get someone into rehab that can really help them get off the drugs and get rid of the addiction, then I have to be all for it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's like this. Regardless of what she did or didn't do, she was still Xana's mom, and a child loves her parent regardless. Yes, Paige, that is true. I don't get along with my mama. I haven't talked to her in several years, but she's still my mama, and I still love her. And I'm sure Xana was the same way. But I'm sure she loves Xana. We don't know if there's other demons that this lady is fighting. Like, we don't know what else went on in her life, that she's dealing with and thinks that the drugs, help her forget about it for however long it is that they help her forget about it. But at the same time, it only helps you forget about it until the high is gone. And then you got to worry about getting the drugs again to forget about it for that moment of time again. It never helps anything. Dr. Phil didn't help Candace and Don Wells. Honestly, Sinful Butterfly, Candace and Don didn't want the help. In my opinion, they didn't want the help. They that's another case I don't understand. And Carmen, yeah, it's a constant fight. You do the drugs, you get high, you forget about your problems until the high is gone. Then you got to worry about getting the money. If you don't have the money to get your drugs again, and then you get high, you forget about it till the high is gone. It's a repeat thing. And it's something that nobody in this world can make her get help, go to rehab, get off the drugs. Nobody can make her do it. It's got to be something that Cara wants to do. Because if it's not something that she wants to do, it's never going to work. I have a friend who had a rare spinal infection and he had to be hospitalized as an addict and was a ward of the state voluntarily or would have been forced, and they are over 1 year sober. Oh, Brad, that is awesome to hear. Yeah, anybody who can overcome addiction, and I think is awesome. So I'd just like to see something good come from this tragedy, and Xana's mom getting and staying sober would be something great. Yes, it would. And what I don't understand, unless she didn't, we just don't know about it, is Xana's sister staying at that college. Don said he'll go on Steve Wilkos. That sounds about like something Don would say. I think Don's more about attention than he is his daughter, honestly. Once again, my opinion. All right. All right, so I'm I'm gonna drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and just, you know, talk about Bryan, Cara, anything going on with that case, or even Alex Murdaugh case, you're more than welcome to grab the link. I am fixing to play a video that was shown in court today for Alex Murdaugh. I think he's pretty much screwed. From the very beginning, he said that he was not at the kennels before the murders happened. In the video that Paul did of his friend's dog, like just a few minutes before he was murdered, you can hear Alec in the video. Lawnmower Man, he is royally screwed. That's what he is. Okay, let me grab my thing out of my email real quick. I gotta find it. Oh, where the hell is it? And then there's the Snapchat video. It was taken right at an hour before they're saying that the murders happened. Of it didn't show Paul, but Paul was the one doing the Snapchat video. But he was filming Alec. They had been riding around on their property and was looking at trees that was blown over, and Alec was out messing with the tree, like a small tree they had planted, and he doesn't even have the same clothes on that he had on in the interview that he did with police after the murders. And a lot of people are thinking that's not a big deal. You know, people change clothes all the time. But the point is, he said that he was asleep, like they had supper, then he fell asleep on the couch, took a nap, like a 45-minute nap, and then got up, sent Maggie a text because she was supposed to go with him, or said that she may go with him to his mama's house. And she didn't answer his text back, so he just left. Hey, how are you? He said he just left and went to his mama's house. So, where would he have had time to go take a 30-minute nap? Like, the timeline's not adding up. There's no time to go take a 30-minute nap, change clothes, go to your mama's house, blah, 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 and all this and that. There's no time. Okay, watch the new short on my channel. He says dad in the new evidence clip. Okay, thank you, A. Will. He took a whole lot of steps to get to the car. You doing all right? I don't know. This is just another weird ass case. I think it's on my Twitter. Let me jump over to Twitter real quick. Oh shit. Hold on. Everything keeps freezing up. Okay, I felt so sad for Paul's. Oh Lord, you're talking about Rogan. Yeah, he literally He got up there, y'all. He stared Alec down. Um, you're not liking the daytime adulting. That's why I only adult at night. That's the only reason why I work at night. I hate doing stuff like that during the day. Hey, Aaron, how are you? He would answer the question, like he would be asked a question on that stand. He would look like he would answer the question, and then he would look right at Alec. And when they asked, you know, what percent did you tell the cops that you were of that hit, that being his voice? And he said 99%. And then he said, after that, I wasn't sure. And then whenever he watched the video, because he never got the video that was supposed to be sent to him of his dog. He never got it. He listened to it in November. And he told him then he was positive that was Alec Murdaugh's voice on there. And then pointed him out in court. And this is a man who he sat right there on that stand and said that man was like a second father to him. I see you too. How are you? Like the whole family was just like a second family to him. He had nicknames for all of them that he called them. It was always at the house. Alec Murdaugh had given him complete access to everything on his property. Like this is how close this kid was to this family. And someone else had said, on Twitter, I believe I had retweeted it, that Paul's video to his friend, even though his friend never got it, could be the very one thing that will get him justice. Court case now, and I don't have a clue what's going on in the case now. Okay, see, I love that you do last at night. I've never been a day person. Paige, I'm not a day person. I'd much rather sleep all day and work all night, honestly. Okay, it was so sad to see how they portrayed the kid felt. Marissa, that is true. But the one thing they did ask him, and the prosecutors, like, the prosecutor wanted so bad to get that money that Alec was, that he had gotten out of clients and stuff like that. The prosecutor was wanting so bad to put that out and to the jurors. And he went to asking Rogan if he knew about it. And Rogan was like, no. And he was like, well, how well do you know Alec Murdaugh? And he was like, oh, I know him good. And he was like, well, after this and this happened and all this and that. And he was like, but how well do you know him? And he was like, I know him well. And I guess the prosecutor thought that he would check backstage. Okay, hold on. There's nobody back here. But I think the prosecutor thought that he was going to say, well, I thought I knew him good, but apparently I didn't. Brown Bear, I'm not sure if it's a death penalty state, but they're not going for the death penalty. They're going for life in prison without parole. Okay, let me jump back over to Twitter. Wait, was someone in my backstage because I didn't have my StreamYard page up? Stone Gator was... Oh, shit, Stone Gator, I'm sorry. I wasn't on my... I didn't have my StreamYard page up. I was trying to get into Twitter. Let's see, I was backstage since you dropped the link because I asked a question 4 times and guess it doesn't matter. Just wanted your opinion. I'm going to listen and go to bed now. Stone Gator, do you want to come back up? Last message. Okay, let me see if I can find your last message real quick. A lot of times when I get to talking, I'm not even paying attention to the chat. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. If it's not too far up. I seen the thing about Steve Wilkos. I did see that one. Let me see if it's below there. Okay, no, it's too far up now. I can't see it. Okay, if he had bad damage that took weeks to heal, wouldn't his student's coworker have noticed such? Yes, Stone Gator. And I don't remember the guy's name, one of his students that was in his class, in Bryan's class, they said that they didn't notice any wounds or anything like that. I'm like, he didn't have no scratches, no cuts on his face or hands. There was no noticeable injuries on him when he went back to class right after the murders happened. And Stone Gator, I do apologize, honey. I did not see you backstage. Perhaps it's more appropriate to say that I'm looking for a way that we can help support the lady in California to get her help. Zara, which lady in California? Okay, was everyone Stone Gator? I never understood that. They said that that was one thing that was said. FBI had Indiana State Police to pull him over because they wanted to see if he had any injuries on his hands. It was like 7 weeks later, or close to 7 weeks later. I think they would have been healed up by then. But his students did say that he didn't have any on him. Okay, I thought I missed out on the case today. Zara, if you will email me, I will email you back after the live and let you know what kind of phone I have. Or yeah, you can ask Big Al. That's a good point too, Marissa. Big Al usually knows about all that kind of stuff. I don't know if Big Al's still in here though. He might have done dropped out of chat. But if you want, Zara, you're more than welcome to email me and I can let you know all about the kind of phone that I have. Oh, and also, Stone Gator, also just thought of this. Bryan also went to the doctor. Zara, my email is pinned at the top of the chat. But Bryan went to the doctor. What day was it? Was it December the 2nd? He went to the doctor and they didn't see anything on him either. They were talking about how nice and polite he was, and he was so polite that the woman, the nurse that had looked at him, her boss actually commented on it, on how nice and respectful he was. So they didn't see anything on him either. None of the students did. I never understood why they were still looking, to see if he had injuries. And Brad, yes, that is true. There are more questions than answers. For sure. Okay. All right, let me grab this. Let me get into Twitter real quick. Phone evidence in the Alec Murdaugh case is pretty damning. Okay. All right, I'm trying to find the video because I did have it. I do have it on my thing. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's Snapchat one. I gotta find the one with the dog. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. That's Snapchat one. I think this is it. Okay, anybody can buy Kevlar cut and scratch resistant sleeves. Wouldn't put it past him to have a pair. Kitty, how are you? Just work out injuries while grappling. Yes, that is true too. Night button needs to be shot. Oh, Alex. Okay. Hey, D. Stewart, how are you? Hey, Blue, how are you? Okay. All right, this video is only 50 seconds long. And this is a video that Paul did. And let me grab my timeline of the phone calls real quick. Because his friend Rogan, who testified today, and this is a boy that has known the Murdaughs his entire life. So him and Paul were best friends. Let me check my streamer. Okay, I just want to make sure there wasn't nobody back there. He says that he talked to Paul around 12 o'clock that day. Then at 8:40 that night, the night of the murders, he talks to Paul again. Paul had asked him if there was anything, because his dog, Rogan's dog Cash, which was a chocolate lab, was staying at the Murdaugh's kennels. Paul called him to ask him if there was anything wrong with the dog's tail. And Rogan said no, he didn't think so. But, he just sent him a picture or video or whatever of it. So from 8:40 to 8:44, Rogan talks to Paul about the dog, Cash. I wonder if he has some kind of alter ego that comes out when he's overwhelmed from... I don't know. I don't think an alter ego had ever been discussed or thought out, honestly. But anyway, so they hang up. They had discussed about Paul FaceTiming Rogan, but because of them being out at the property, the cell service wasn't very good. Hey, American Princess, how are you? So they had discussed that if Paul was going to try to FaceTime him, and so he could show him the dog's tail, whatever was wrong with it. And they said that Rogan said that if Paul wasn't able to do the FaceTime, then Pie in the Sky, how are you? Then Paul was just going to do a video and send to him. So at about 8:44 to 8:45, after Paul and Rogan hang up, Paul does FaceTime. Rogan says the FaceTime comes in, but it was lagging really bad. So it like they couldn't talk. They didn't know what each other was saying. He wasn't able to look at the dog and all that. So Paul does a video of Cash to send to Rogan at 8:55, and it's 50 seconds long. And in the video that I'm about to play, it doesn't show Paul. It doesn't show anybody. All it shows is Rogan's dog Cash. Paul is trying to get a view of his tail where something's wrong with it. And you can hear Maggie in the background talking about their dog Bubba. She thought he had a guinea in his mouth. And for those who don't know what a guinea is, it's a real annoying gray bird that is loud as hell, and a lot of people in the country have them. And then you can hear Paul say, no, it's a chicken. And then you can hear Alec in the background say that it's a chicken. And you can hear Alec in the background calling for Bubba. So everyone, if y'all haven't got your volumes turned up, you'll need to turn your volume up. Alec and his kids suffer from generational. So, oh, Brad, yes, they are so annoying. Oh my God, like super annoying. They literally just very loud. Okay. Give me just a second. I'm fixing to bring the video up. Yeah. I won't have them. Like a lot of people in the country have them, but I won't. I hate them damn things. Hey, Wolfpack, how are you? All right, let me make sure I got the volume up all the way on this. Yes, Stone Gator, I'll drop it in just 1 second, okay? After I play this video. It's just, like I said, 50 seconds long, and then I'll drop it for you. Can we eat them? Eat what, Anthony? Guineas? Is that what you're asking? I don't know if people eat guineas or not. They eat guineas? I wouldn't eat them damn things. Hey, Nora, how are you? I wouldn't even have a guinea on my property. Things are just annoying as hell. Okay. Stone Gator, they was wanting to know if you can eat guineas. I've never heard of anybody eating them. Troll just said, yeah, people do. Uh, and Bread said that they're a good alarm system, which they are. You know, no, a guinea like the gray bird guineas. They're ugly as hell, and they're very very loud and annoying. But I mean, if predators come in your yard or in your property, uh, they do get super loud. They're just ugly as hell and they're annoying. I bet we call them different in South Louisiana. Yeah, you've probably seen them, Stone Gator. I know a lot of people like on the yes, that's what I was about to say. Uh-huh. A lot of people that I've seen that's got the homesteading channels on YouTube, like up in Oklahoma, they have a huge tick problem. They have guineas and they eat the ticks. So they thought not Alec, Maggie thought that their dog Bubba, which is a yellow lab, had a guinea in his mouth, but it was actually a chicken. T. Stewart. What if any of Maggie's besties will be called as witnesses to testify that her and Alex were going through a divorce? Paige, that's a good question. I know her family's not there. I'm sure that's just because they don't want to look at Alec. I think everybody that's there, other than the media and stuff like that, most of the people there is like his family. His brothers are there, his sister's there, uh, his son is there. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. Like I said, if y'all haven't done so, I'll give y'all a second to turn your volumes up so y'all can hear this. Okay, guineas are also good watchbirds, and you can eat them or their eggs. I've never heard of anybody eating them. I wouldn't eat them. I wouldn't even have them. All right, so hey Penny, how are you? All right, well, I'm just gonna play it, y'all.
Get back! Get back! Quit, Cash. Come. Quit. It's okay. Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
That's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Okay, so were y'all able to hear him in the background? You can hear him back here saying he calls Bubba several times, which once again is the Murdaugh's yellow lab. he completely lied about being there. He said that he was not even at uh, the kennels. That he never went down there until the first time that he went down there that day or that afternoon was when he went and found when he drove up and saw him there. He found the bodies. Woody, they do spray the kennels out. They someone else said, I forgot who it was, but they do spray them the concrete floors out. You know, any urine or feces or anything like that, they spray them out all the time to keep them clean in there. And I honestly didn't even see nothing wrong with that dog's tail, unless there was something else and he just didn't have the camera angle to where we could see it. And to begin with, like I said, the friend said that when he was on the phone from 8:40 to 8:44, he heard a third voice that he thought was Alex Murdaugh. And they asked him, oh shit, I forgot the link for Stone Gator. Hold on, let me grab it. They asked him what percentage was he sure that it was him. He was like 99%. When he watched the video, because the first time he watched this video was in November, because he never got it. And then they showed it to him. Paul never had a chance to send it to him. Literally, this video, they said, was made just a few minutes before Paul and Maggie were murdered. So he said, the friend said, Rogan, when he was on the stand today, that when he heard that in November, that video for the first time, he knew then 100% that that was Alec Murdaugh's voice. So like I said earlier, the video that Paul did, this video right here. Okay, Stone Gator, I'm about to bring you up. This video right here of Cash, the dog, could possibly be the video that gets justice for him and his mama. Lawnmower Man, he said that he was at home. They had ate supper. They had went down to the kennels. He had laid down and took a nap for like 30 minutes. He sent Maggie a text because she said she may go to his mama's house with him, and she didn't return his text, so he just left. There is another driveway that's in front of the house that goes out to the road, plus there's a driveway where the kennels are at that goes to the road. Apparently, he's claiming that he just left out the driveway at the house. He didn't even go to the kennels. He says that he came home. And I also have a timeline of when he texts Maggie and Paul's phones as well. Like a timeline of like the times or whatever and what was said. And he said he got home. They wasn't at the house. So that's when he rode down to the kennels and found them. Okay, Stone Gator, can you hear me?
Yes, can you read private chat first before I say anything?
Okay, hold on. Let me jump over to that real quick. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched it last night, and I watched some of it today.
He just put a new one out. I just left your live to go watch it.
Okay, I'll have to watch it once I'm done on here.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to action. I didn't want to bring it up in your chat or openly in your live. I didn't know how you felt about it, so I wanted to ask you in back chat. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I watched it last night. A very sad situation. I watched some of the stuff that he put out today about it, and I didn't know he put out a new one because I've got my TV on my channel. But once I'm done on here, and yes, Simple Butterfly, I can play the video in just a second one more time for you. But once I get done here, I'll go check it out and see, because that's like a whole another sad situation there.
Yeah, we definitely need to pray for him. But can I just say this dog looked like a goat kinda in this picture. The way his head turns, it's like doesn't look normal.
The chocolate lab you're talking about?
Yeah, the one on the screen with glowing eyeballs.
Yeah,
His head,
I think that's just how where they started the video out on Twitter. I think, or even in court, I think that's they kind of got him because he's bouncing around and jumping and stuff. I think that's just where they started the video from, and it caught him like that.
do you think the prosecution would have a voice analysis up on the stand so I'm sure the defense is going to try to say it's not him. So do you think prosecution would have a voice analysis to verify that that is his voice on the video versus him just talking in real life?
I would hope so. Um, yeah, I don't think if they're going to try to prove that he was there during that time, I think they need to pull an expert in instead of just
Right.
having because Paul's friend Rogan has known this whole entire family. He literally, you know, had nicknames for these people because that's how long he had been around this family, and he thought of them like a second family. He said Maggie was like his second mom. She always took care of him. He thought of Alec as a second dad, was always good to him and treated, him and Maggie treated him like their own. Um, Even though we would all know he would know his voice, 100% know his voice. He's been around him almost his entire life. I still think they should pull an expert in to prove it.
I
Yeah.
just knew he was going to break down today on that witness stand. He was like so strong.
Right.
Like you said, them being a second family, lifelong best friends to Paul. Like he just lost a second mom and a brother, really, to
Yeah.
him. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
the dad, did it. So he's conflicted himself probably, and then losing his second family. You know what I mean? Like he's just so strong. Like I don't know if I could have done that. I was just
Yeah.
waiting for him to break down. But
There.
anyway, I'll jump down. I just didn't know if you had known about that and didn't want to type in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. Like I said, I did watch some of the video. Well, I watched what was put out yesterday, and then I
Oh,
watched a little bit of things today on it. So.
and the email I sent you was about SF Investigates. It's pretty interesting. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
not important. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Have a good night. All right. Okay. So simple butterfly. Yeah. Okay. Let me play this again for her. All right. Let me back it all the way to the beginning. Okay. Who else would it be that wasn't there at dinner? Paul would have greeted a new person. Yeah. Penny, I'm sure it was him. I just think that they should pull in an expert to prove that it was him instead of just going solely on the best friend. Because when you have a best friend that does it and then you have an expert that does it, the jury's going to pay more attention to the expert. They're going to keep in mind what the best friend said, especially because he's known this family his entire life basically. But he's not an expert. The expert was solidified that yes, when they go in for deliberation, yes, the expert said that that was Alec Murdaugh on that video that was taken a few minutes before they were murdered. It would help the prosecution, honestly. Okay, I'm going to play this again for y'all.
Get back. Get back. Quit, Cash. Come on. Quit. It's okay. Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Come here, Bubba.
Okay. I don't think Alec knew that Paul was recording in that kennel and caught him on the recording. Lawnmower Man, I believe Alec's brother is the one that got the dogs. This chocolate lab, Cash, his owner, Rogan, who testified today, said that he went the next day and picked Cash up from the kennels. To me, it sounds like him. I still think that they need to pull an expert in about it. Uh, to solidify it, honestly, to make it stick in the jury's mind that he lied. Hey, I didn't like the pulling of the dog's tail. Let's see their tails. Yeah, Brown Bear. He was trying to get on video. Uh, what I don't know what he thought was wrong with the dog's tail. I didn't see anything, unless it was a hot spot or something like that that was starting to form. Because I didn't see anything else. Um, but Rogan did tell on the stand today that he told Paul in their phone call, if you tell Cash to sit, he'll sit and sit down and sit still long enough for you to try to get a picture or get it on video of what's wrong with his tail. Hey, Justice Jane, how are you? And yes, emphasize a lie. Uh, they need to see, that he lied. Like, they need to push that he lied and said that he wasn't at the kennels when clearly he was. Yeah, Brown Bear, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get his tail. I don't know what part of the tail it was on. Just Rogan said that Paul asked him if there was something wrong with the dog's tail. And he was trying to get a recording of it so he could send it uh, to his friend who owned the dog, uh, because Rogan's girlfriend had a friend who was a vet. And so they wanted a picture or a video of it so they could send it to the girl that was a vet to see if she could, tell them what it possibly was, or um, if they needed to bring him into the vet. Must have got lost. How are you? Think it was Alec. You has that whiny itch. Yeah, he has a his voice isn't deep at all. He has. I have an uncle or a step uncle that's like that. He doesn't have that deep voice like most men have. Let's see. Probably pup kept hitting his tail and happened while being in the kennel. Yeah, it could have been a hot spot that was starting to form. Um, it didn't look like it was uh, bent differently or anything like that, but I mean, it very well could have been, and just couldn't tell on the video. Yeah, his voice is very distinct though. All right, let me go over to Twitter because I do have the other video, the Snapchat one. And this one is only like 4 seconds long. Okay, Alex was worried about something, was on the phones, and he tried to eliminate any evidence. I think, but okay, so, and let me grab my. Um, okay, so Rogan said that he sent, or he called, or no, he sent a first unanswered text to Paul's phone on at 9:10 p.m., which Paul didn't answer him back. They'd already been murdered. If you remember though, Alec, when he was in the car with the cops that night, and he was being questioned about it. He said that Paul's phone popped out of his pocket, out of his back pocket, and he said he picked it up and then he like thought about it and then laid it back down real quick. I think that could have possibly been during the time that Rogan was calling or sending texts or whatever to Paul's phone, because he was expecting Paul to send the video and then he never got it. And I'm thinking maybe there was a text that came in or a phone call that came in and Alec picked it up to see who it was. And Alec also tells them that after he called 911, he called the boy that lives down the street that was friends with Paul, which was Rogan, because they showed screenshots or pictures that was taken from Rogan's phone, and it shows that Alec had called that night. So Alec wasn't lying about that. He really did call Rogan's phone. Okay, I've had a hard time watching trial because too many details won't be allowed. Or the dog, yeah. I mean, maybe. Like I said, I don't know what was wrong with the dog's tail. But maybe whatever was wrong with the dog's tail, which initiated the video and the phone call, because the boy said he heard what he thought was Alec's voice in the background on the phone call. But whatever was wrong with that tail is what initiated the phone call and the video that caught Alex's voice. Okay, so let me grab this one right here. Like I said, this is literally, I think it's 6 seconds long, not 4. It's very short, but it just shows that what Alec is wearing here is not what he had on in that vehicle when he was talking to them cops. I've only ever had medium to large couch dogs allowed in the bed also. Yeah, my dog's like 65, 70 pounds, and he gets on the couch in the bed. It's like a big-ass teddy bear. Oh, what's her name? Cherokee Raider's not in here tonight, is she? Has anybody seen her? Because she sent a picture of her 2 dogs laying in the bed with her. And they were watching my live stream. I thought it was super cute. So I was going to ask her if it was okay if I showed it to everybody, but I'll wait till she comes back into chat and ask. All right, so Anjanette Levy is the one that posted this, and I just retweeted it from her. And I'm going to grab her Twitter real quick, y'all. Let me do this real quick, because it is her video. Oh, White Little Baby. It was super ass cute. Like, just these 2 big, huge dogs laying up on the bed with her. Okay, so if y'all don't follow Anjanette Levy on Twitter, you really should. She has a lot of good stuff. She's like Bryan Inton. Like, they post a lot of really good stuff. Oh my God, Nora, you got 2 Great Danes that sleep with y'all every night, and one of them sits on the couch with us like he's a human. Oh, that is too cute. Okay, so she on her tweet, she says, this is the 7:56 p.m. Snapchat video that Paul Murdaugh sent to his friend. Alex Murdaugh is wearing different clothes from what he was wearing while talking to law enforcement after the murders. He is wearing loafers, pants, and a blue shirt. And if y'all remember in the video with the law enforcement, he's wearing a white t-shirt and shorts. And Rogan says that this was sent to him, and it was basically just Paul and Alec riding around on their property looking at trees that had fell. Okay. All right. And we'll go ahead and play this one for y'all. And there's nobody talking in this one, but there is some background noise.
Better than it was, ain't it? Better than it was, ain't it?
Okay. So that's all it was, but it was sent to his friends, and it's just basically they showed it because of the clothing. He has different clothes on. A lot of animals watch TV now. I remember when it was a common. And Brad, if I'm not mistaken, the two dogs that Cherokee Raider had on her bed were Rottweilers. But it was hard to tell the way the picture was taken, but I believe that that's what they were. It was two big ass Rottweilers. My parents' dog cries at the TV when he sees another dog on it. Y'all, Klaus don't even pay attention to the TV. Honestly, Beavis watches TV. He will sit on the end of my bed, prop his front feet up on the footboard of my bed, and will watch TV. But Klaus, he doesn't care. He don't pay attention to it at all. My cat watches birds on TV. I shut the TV off, and then he would look back and whine and oh. Well, I'm gonna ask Cherokee Raider if I can share the picture, but it is her picture, so uh, I wanna make sure it's okay before I do. Well, I thought it was just super cute. They were literally laid up on the bed looking towards the TV, and she puts a little caption at the bottom that says, "They know what time it is." And you can see on the TV it's got my live stream going. All right, let me quick throw this off. So like I said, the Snapchat video was played just to show, um, you know, that he had the different clothes on. So it's sad to hear someone laughing. Didn't know that was her last. Wolfpack. They're saying that this was, if the time of the murders were correct, this was taken or done less than an hour before he was murdered. And it's sad to know that, and it's the same thing with like Kaylee and Maddie when we watched them on the food truck video, that they were there and they were having fun, and the same thing like you said with Paul here, he's laughing and not knowing that just in a very short time he's going to be murdered, and it's very sad. Okay, hold on one second. Hey, Collins Avenue, how are you? Okay, did they know that the murders occurred exactly then? Lawnmower Man, they gave a time. I don't know how they know they happened at that time unless they're basing it on some part of the timeline that they have. Indianapolis, how are you? They, whenever they went into their phones and it shows the last time the phones were locked, um, and were never, and wasn't unlocked until law enforcement unlocked them. That's when they're basing it off of. And there was a period of time where they said that Maggie's phone was picked up, and they're saying this was, they believe after she was murdered, that it was it was picked up and it was turned sideways, so like it was turned to landscape mode, like you got portrait mode and then landscape mode, like it was turned to landscape. Some people were speculating on Facebook that they think maybe Alec had picked it up and was trying to use like a face recognition or something like that, but wasn't able to get it to work, because if he would have um, if he would have used, like, he knew her passcode, but if he would have used it, like, they would have been able to get his, I'm sure, his DNA or prints or whatever off the screen, which didn't make sense. Even if he picked it up, they would still be able to get the prints off of it. But some people were speculating about that. That's what it was. He's the one that had the phone and was turning it and maybe trying to use the face recognition. But like, your eyes have to be open for that and stuff like that. And I was just thinking that maybe he grabbed Paul's phone during the time that Rogan was sending messages, because Rogan even sent a text message to Maggie's phone that said, "Tell Paul to call me," and Maggie never answered him back either. Okay, just 1 second. Let me make sure that I have everything. Okay. All right, 1 second here. Pull up my video. The ostrich is mean. Yeah, I don't like ostrich either. Birds are too damn big. Anything taller than me, Two dogs really may help solve this. The friend's dog with the tail issue, and Penny, it would have been Bubba with the chicken. But yeah, I mean, that what you're saying is true though, because if it wouldn't have been for the Murdaugh's dog Bubba, the yellow lab, and him getting the chicken, Alec more than likely would have never, his voice would have never been on that video. So yeah, that's a very true statement. The two dogs really may help solve this. The friend's dog with the tail issue, and then Bubba with the chicken. So that's a really good thought. Okay, and this is just about the Alec Murdaugh trial. The jurors view the son's cell phone video, and this is basically just talking about the video and some of the testimony with it. Let me get it pulled up here. I gotta hurry up, mute it before it starts blaring in my ears. Damn it. Okay. I hear a child's voice on that video. I don't know if it was a kid there. I don't know whose kid. Well, Alec, Sima, Alec's voice isn't. To me, he doesn't have a man's voice. It's kind of hard to explain how his voice sounds, but it's not a deep, manly voice. Hey Tracy, how are you? It's I don't know if I would say a woman's voice either. But yeah, I get, like White Widow Baby said, like high pitch. It's not low, deep, manly voice whatsoever. Like I said, I've got an uncle that's got, his voice is like that, and it's like he talks like Alec, very country, and that high pitched voice like that. It's completely different. So that might have been what you heard, Sima, that you think possibly could be a child's voice. So it's not deep from the chest like most men. Yeah, it's completely different. And honestly, Troll's got a brother-in-law who has a voice like that too. And every man that I've ever heard that had a voice like that was from the South. Of course, Troll's brother-in-law is very cityfied and not country at all. But my uncle's voice is like that. It's almost like if you've never heard a man that sounds like that, it's very weird sounding, honestly. All right, let me get this video up here. A couple of testosterone shots wouldn't hurt him. Yeah, it's very different. It's a feminine voice. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to explain, honestly. It's not deep by no means. Like, it's, if you didn't know better, you would think that, I don't know, probably like a younger teenage sounding voice before the boy becomes a man, if you know what I mean. All right, so let me play this. Like I said, this is just Alec Murdaugh trial. The jury views son's cell phone video. And there's some other people that's on here talking as well. And while it's playing, I'm gonna mute out. A girly man. Penny, that's the best way to explain it. A girly man.
New cell phone data and new video presented in court detailing the moments leading up to the deaths of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh. 2 timestamps, 8:48 and 8:49, show the last text messages Paul and Maggie read before their phones went dark. Just minutes before that, new video from Paul's phone, look at this, shows what he was doing in the family's dog kennels. The prosecution now zeroing in on what happened between 8:50 and 9:08 p.m., the time when the murders took place. News Nation's Evan Lambert was inside the courtroom today. Evan, the agent on the stand today says he heard multiple voices in that video.
Yes, Nicole, and more importantly, Paul's best friend took the stand. He pointed at Alec Murdaugh and said with 100% certainty he could hear his voice in the background of that video, and that contradicts Alec's alibi. On Wednesday, the jury saw one of the state's most important pieces of evidence in the double homicide trial of South Carolina lawyer Alec Murdaugh. A video from his 22-year-old son Paul's phone taken just minutes before the prosecution says he was killed. That was just before 9 p.m. on June 7th, 2021.
Hey, you got burgers now!
It shows Paul in the kennels on the family's Moselle hunting lodge, trying to get a video of a dog's tail. But what could be more important is what's heard in the background. In the courtroom, Murdaugh cries while listening to the voices.
You hear 3 different voices in the video. You can tell because they're so different.
Prosecutors arguing one of those voices is Alec Murdaugh's, and Paul's best friend backed that up on the stand.
I heard Miss Maggie.
And who else did you hear?
And I thought it was Mr. Alec that I heard.
Which would place Murdaugh at the murder scene with both his son and wife Maggie moments before the murders. He told investigators he'd fallen asleep inside the main house yards away and hadn't seen his wife and son until finding their bodies. The jury also heard detailed second-by-second analysis of data from Alec, Paul, and Maggie's cell phones. Based on what we could see while in court observing the jury, they looked confused by some of the times and numbers. The evidence involving a change in Maggie's phone's orientation from portrait to landscape after the state says she died.
It starts at 9:06:12 p.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
And it ends at 9:06:20 p.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that indicated you previously testified that someone had that phone in their hands during that time, correct?
Yes, sir.
But on cross-examination, the defense gets an admission out of the data expert that undercuts the prosecution's argument that after the murders, Alec Murdaugh had handled his wife's phone.
We previously established that his phone and Maggie's phone were not, when he's walking, are not walking together. Is that correct?
Correct. There are no steps recorded on those devices together.
And that witness also testifying to the fact that a chunk of Alex Murdaugh's phone calls, the records of those phone calls on the night of the murders, were missing by the time investigators got that phone to analyze it. Nicole?
All right, Evan, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
Okay. So I think Alex knows that he is screwed, y'all. Just by the Snapchat video and the video that was done by Paul for the friend. He completely knows he's screwed. Give me just 1 second. All right, let's see what this one is. All right, I do have one that's talking about Jeff H. Yes, he is screwed. And Jeff H. made a good point a minute ago. I don't know if y'all seen it. Let me find it real quick. He says a dog video will do Murdaugh in, and a dog hair will do in Kohberger. So that's a very valid thing. Because if you think about it, they're claiming that they found in Bryan's apartment what they think is a animal hair. If it comes back to be Murphy's hair, and that's what he is, you know, that's what helps convicting. Yeah, we have to give it up to Murphy because he helped put his mama's owner, our mama's murderer, in prison. And the same thing with Paul and Maggie. Dogs are angels that are on earth. Yes, King Scarlet, I do believe that. And the same with Paul and Maggie. There might not have been anything at all wrong with that dog's tail. I didn't see nothing, like I said. I don't know if anybody else could see anything. But the point is, Paul must have seen something or thought something was wrong with it. To the point that he asked his friend about it. And tried to do what he could to get a video of it. And in that video, and even on the Snapchat video that he sent to the friend, he proved with 2 videos that Alec was at the kennels. And he was wearing different clothes. Okay. So a dog is man's best friend, not a murderer's best friend. That is true. You know, and you know, you can see in the trial, if you watch it, Alec crying and bobbing his head and cutting his eye over at the jury to make sure they're watching him. And I fully think, honestly, that his attorneys told him to do that to try to sway the jury, and think that he's all emotional and he has, you know, he's so upset over his wife and son being murdered and all this and that, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of fake ass tears. Wait for the baby. It appears from these TikToks that Maggie and Paul had no, Crime Crazy, they didn't. Marissa Milo is doing good. He's still sore. But he's being babied and loved on and snuggled, and he's eating up all the attention. But other than that, he's doing okay. You bet his attorney was cut the onions under the table. And Crime Crazy, you know, like somebody else said, like Paul was laughing on the Snapchat video. Maggie was worried about their dog having a chicken in his mouth. They had no idea that in just the next few minutes that was going to happen to him. No clue at all. Because the prosecution did ask Rogan while he was on the stand. Or no, not the prosecution. I'm sorry. It might have been a defense. I can't remember. I think it was the defense. Did Maggie or Paul in the video, did they sound like that they were scared, or that there was someone there that they didn't know, or some strange person there, and he kept saying no, and like they try to make it out? Well, of course they didn't. It was Alec there, her husband, his dad. They had no idea what was about to happen. So he is completely screwed, and he knows it, honestly. Patsy Cline, how are you? Do we know what the motive was to kill your own child? Brown Bear, everybody has been speculating that so like the day before that, he had been accused of taking money. It was like $700 something thousand from some clients. That was, it was basically being taken away from the law firm that he was working for. And some people are speculating that he did it. He murdered him so he could get sympathy from the community and try to take the attention off of his financial problems being exposed. And as soon as it happened, he tried to say that it had something to do with the boat accident that Paul was involved in 2019. And that maybe, Paul was threatened and he came home with a black eye and all this and that. And even the friend was asked about that today. And he's like, yeah, Paul did tell me some things about it, but I wasn't there whenever any of them were said. And when he told me about them, I didn't think that they were that serious. And Alec was trying to make it seem like that, maybe the murders were done in retaliation for the girl who was killed in the boat accident. Jeff H., I'm not sure about a life insurance policy. I mean, I would think he would have a life insurance. He had one on himself because that's the reason why he hired Cousin Eddie to murder him. It's his life insurance policy had an unaliving clause in it, where if he was to unalive himself, then his son Buster wouldn't get his $10 million life insurance policy. So he hired Cousin Eddie to shoot him and murder him. And Cousin Eddie failed. And all he got was, I think the bullet grazed his head. A lot of people, including myself, I never saw a wound from it. Some people swear it was there. But that's what he did. He had actually hired the guy to shoot and kill him so his son Buster would get the $10 million life insurance policy. So I'm sure if he had one on himself, I'm sure he had one on Maggie and Paul as well. All right, one second here. Always see no strangers. The dogs will be barking. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that I'm all caught up on everybody's stuff before I play this video. I believe the prosecution said today that the firm had addressed Alex about $759,000 outstanding debt to the firm same day the murders occurred too. Yeah, and his attorney, Alex's attorney, was like, he was upset that the prosecution even brought up that $750,000. Like it was put out in front of the jury when he was questioning the friend. All right, so let me play this. Let me grab this video real quick. All right, so this is an expert, and it's on Banfield. And it says that Maggie Murdaugh's phone moved 59 steps after she died. And her phone was actually found the next day down the road from the house on the side of the road. And this kind of explains it all. All right.
Jake Green is a digital forensics expert, technical lead for digital forensics at Invista Forensics. Also worked with Britt Dove, as I have come to find out, the expert who testified during the Murdaugh trial today. Okay, Jake, so I want to think of all the different reasons that could be innocuous and innocent as to why Maggie is likely dead and her phone has a life of its own. Tell me.
There's not really any. That phone is moving because somebody is physically moving it around. All the gyroscopes and pieces within this device that record it, those are moving because someone's actually holding that phone and moving around with it. So there's not really anything innocuous that we could say, oh, well, it might have just mistakenly recorded it. No, this is something that was actually recording at the time somebody was moving.
So the one thing, I mean, everybody wants to say, aha, this is a Perry Mason moment. It's impossible to tell whose hand it is in. It's impossible to tell who's flipping it around, wondering whether, it'll show something in portrait or in landscape. What's the next best thing to try to figure that out?
Really the activity in and around. So looking at the databases, and I saw a copy of a report that you guys used as an infographic. They used a piece of software that automates the review of the database that all this is coming from. That piece of software does an excellent job, but at the same time, a manual review of the actual data itself of that database is going to give us much more than what that piece of software can give us. So there can be other things that can show us not only was the phone in portrait versus landscape, and you showed off your kids, I'll show off my awesome wife. It'll show us when was the last time this phone was unlocked. Was it unlocked with a pin? Did somebody unlock it with their face? What was the brightness? What was the backlight? So my phone right now is off and it's on a black screen. If I pick it up and it's called raise to awake. So if you black screen, raise it, your screen comes back on. That setting is going to be within that database as well. So it may not be something that was pulled out by the automated software, but that database can definitely hold that piece of evidence. So in and around and what happened and estimating steps. Could this person have taken that same number of steps to make it back to the house? That movement had to have occurred somewhere. So trying to place other pieces of evidence, as well as the physical evidence of DNA and fingerprints on the device as well. And that's how you would put that phone in somebody's hand.
So the 59 steps, like Maggie's phone walked 59 steps after she's dead at 8:53, just minutes after she's dead. And I decided, okay, is 59 steps back to the house or, it's not. The kennel is a long way away from the house. And I did 59 steps today just to see, how far I get. I got around my house once. It's not very far. Is there anything that could be wrong? I always wonder if my step count is right. Is the iPhone really picking up every step, or could it be in a truck? Or could there be errors? How accurate is this? I'm trying to think of what would someone be doing around a dead body for 59 steps. It's not very far.
Yeah. So the things that we've seen in testing and research that other folks have done is there can absolutely be flaws. There's no known accuracy for are those steps accurate within 5-10 steps. I would be more concerned with the estimated distance, as that is something that is measured with GPS within the location data within that device. So I would trust the distance more than I would trust the actual the step counts.
Okay, well, that's interesting. But I do have this list I want to show you. I thought this was pretty damning, actually. It's Alec Murdaugh's steps. And there are so many of them, and it seems really frantic. It starts at 6:42, and it goes right through almost every 10 minutes or so. 6:42, 6:52, 7:03, 7:15, 7:28, 7:55, 8:05, 9:02. And they're like giant steps at times, like 283 steps, 270 steps, again, 283 steps, 167 steps. They're all over the map from 6:42 to 8:05. but he also says he took a nap. And I don't know. That's kind of impossible, isn't it? I mean, that's not the kind of mistake where you could say, well, the iPhone's not always accurate. That doesn't show that he's napping.
Right. So keep in mind that the windows that we see within movements, those are typically the first indication of movement and the last indication of movement. So it's not saying that you took 183 steps within that 10 minutes. It's just that within that 10 minutes, it detected movement and it estimates it. So you could have taken those steps in the first 5 minutes, the first 4 minutes. You could have run for the first minute. So that's just the way the phone records these items. So I think the other important thing to keep in mind is that investigators properly preserve this phone and were able to pull out these databases because they were able to get them within 30 days. So this database rolls over, it's constantly. So the reason we ask about, well, what about Mr. Murdaugh's phone? What was his screen doing at the time? They may not have arrested him for 30 days or may not have seized his phone within 30 days. So that's why his data is different from what was found on the wife's phone.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
Okay. Give me just 1 second. Let me get this down so it doesn't start playing again. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that video and write down all of that, because didn't she say at 8:53 Maggie's phone took 59 steps? Did I hear that correctly? Because that would have been 2 minutes before Paul did the video of the dog, because his video was done at 8:55. Okay. See, earlier in the trial, the defense planted a seed that there were 2 shooters. So today, the prosecution planted a seed for financial fraud and placing Alec at the kennel. Yeah, and his attorney was not very happy with him doing that either, Justice Jane. Okay. So Alec, hold on, I'm trying to think. Alec called 911 at 9:06. Hold on, I'm writing something down on my timeline. Oh, shit. Okay. White Widow Baby, if I heard it correctly, she said at 8:53, Maggie's phone took 59 steps. If they're trying to say that, like, I'm pretty sure some of the steps were after she passed away. But the 59 steps, if it was at 8:53 and Paul did the dog video at 8:55, she would have still been alive at that time. So I'm going to have to go back and watch Ashley's video later on and write down the timeline that she has with the steps, just to make sure that I did hear it correctly. Okay, Pretty Lies and Alibis is there for long crime, reporting on her own YouTube channel. She has the timeline. Okay, thank you, Justice Jane. I think I follow her on Twitter. So let me see. Let me look. 7th row. I'm doing good, thank you. And yes, crazy afternoon in court. But honestly, I think that I think the friend Rogan that was the bombshell, what he had to say in his video that was supposed to be sent to him, and then he finally got to hear, and him saying that that was Alec on it. Okay, what was her Pretty Lies and Alibis? Okay. Do you believe... Yes, I do follow her. Let's see if she's got it on her Twitter. Lawnmower Man, honestly, I don't think he did. Or if he knew about it, he completely forgot about it, because when Paul did the video, he was inside the kennel with the dog. So Alec might not have even seen him recording. Okay, let's see if she has it. The timeline. Give me just 1 second, because she's posted a good bit today. Okay, that was at 7:56 was the Snapchat video. Shit. Okay. And Zara, you have a wonderful night. I'm not going to be too far behind you. Okay, yeah, she hasn't posted it on her Twitter that I see. Rest of your phone would prove you're lazy. I don't know, I take my phone everywhere. All right, let me grab this last video here. Oh my gosh, that was loud. Okay, I'm just grabbing this last video I have, y'all. All right. Now it's not wanting to pull up for some reason. Okay. All right, and this one just says, could video undermine Alec Murdaugh's defense? And I honestly think that it could. Why is it not? And another thing, her phone, they're able to tell when it was unplugged, like the charger, when it was plugged in to charge, when it was unplugged to charge. Like her phone could tell them everything. Can y'all see the video? Because for some reason it's not pulling up for me. Okay, there it goes. All right. Okay, thank you, Krista. For some reason it wasn't pulling up for me on my phone. All right, so let's see what this one has to say.
Without a murder weapon, prosecutors in South Carolina face an uphill battle in convicting one of the state's most famous citizens of murder. They say Alec Murdaugh shot and killed his wife and son, and a tape just played in court might get as close to a smoking gun as they can get without an actual gun. Murdaugh claims he never went to the kennels on the family farm until after the killings. That's where the bodies were found. The tape, including showing dogs in the tape, appears to show otherwise.
Come here. Shit. Get him.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
The important point of that is the voices you hear in the back, which may be one of his sons. Avery Wilson here, chief investigative reporter for the Post and Courier newspaper out of Charleston, South Carolina, covering the trial. All right, Avery, is this the thing that they can finally use to show that Alex Murdaugh has been lying about everything?
This is a really, really big piece of the state's case. You really cannot overstate it. They have been working toward this for several days now. For days, the state has been presenting us audio and testimony from investigators and first responders of Alec Murdaugh's first statements to investigators after the slayings, statements in which he claimed repeatedly that he did not go down to the dog kennels that night, that he took a nap at the Moselle home, that he hadn't spoken with Paul and Maggie, and that he left to go visit his mother and texted and called Maggie but didn't get a response. Today, they showed actually 3 times a video where you can't see any members of the family, but you can hear them on background. And they had 2 witnesses testify with 100% certainty that that was Alec Murdaugh's voice in the background, speaking with Maggie and Paul, the victims of the crime, apparently just minutes before the crime was actually committed. So this is what prosecutors have been working toward. This is a big reveal, and this is a huge part of the case that they were able to nail down and establish today.
Did we know about this before?
We knew that this video existed. We did not know. We'd never heard it before. We'd never seen it before. The jury obviously had not heard it before. So getting the video introduced into evidence, but then also getting 2 close friends of the Murdaugh family to testify in court today that was Alec's voice, that was huge. We've not heard that before, and we've not heard that testimony.
Let's listen to a little bit of that testimony.
And who did you say you heard?
I thought it was Mr. Alec, but I wasn't exactly sure.
Did you give him a percentage?
I did.
What'd you say?
99%.
Did you recognize the voices of your second family?
I did.
And what voices did you hear?
Paul's, Miss Maggie, Mr. Alec.
And how sure are you now?
Positive.
100%?
That's correct.
And this would place the alleged killer with the victims all together 5 minutes before the crime occurred. It keeps going back to this. What, other than sort of just continuing to pound the table and say this is a circumstantial case, does the defense have any options here?
They're trying some things, for sure. For one, they're going to challenge the state's evidence and what the state believes as the time of death for Maggie and Paul. Right now, the state is using cell phone data, including when messages were opened and when messages were received, and when Maggie and Paul stopped responding to messages and calls to try to establish when they died. I think you can expect that Murdaugh's defense attorneys are going to challenge those metrics as ways to prove that. And they're also really pushing hard on this idea that there could have been 2 shooters. And consequently, just as prosecutors are using the timeline to kind of condense the timeline and show that Alec was close by or was there when the killings happened, prosecutors are trying to use the timeline the same way to show that it's really impossible for one person to have done all of the things that the state alleges or is implying that Alec did in such a short timeline. So they're trying to push this idea that there had to be someone else involved. And of course, if there was someone else involved, if there were 2 shooters, then can the jury, convict Alec Murdaugh of being, beyond a reasonable doubt of being the killers of both Maggie and Paul?
Yeah, it's fascinating. And you, as you rightly point out, we'd all been waiting for this piece of evidence. But when you hear those voices and then the testimony about them, it certainly changes and closes in on Alec Murdaugh in a way. Avery, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
All right. Ashes, how are you? All right. So if one of the items are removed, they will remove other items. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just catching up. American Virtual, how are you? Okay, just my thoughts quick before I have to get ready for the day. I think the defense are challenging too many things, and that's going to have a paradoxical effect on jurors. So that video was 5 minutes before the killings, and how did Alex shoot them with 2 different weapons? Sima, he could have had the weapons in his vehicle. And the friend even testified to that today, that they have several different vehicles there on the property. And a lot of times they have weapons in them. Paul, he said, just leaves his stuff, including guns, all over the place. Um, he's seen them in the sheds. He's seen them, where the hangar is. Like, he's seen them all over the place down there. He would just bring a gun somewhere and just leave it. And there was a lot of times that there was guns in those trucks and other vehicles that's on the property, and none of those vehicles were ever locked either. So he could have very easily just brought a gun or two guns with him down there, down to the kennels. The way they talk about Paul, he kind of reminds me of I have two younger cousins that were spoiled. Like, they got anything that they wanted. And him and his little brother did. And they didn't take care of their stuff. They got guns and nice trucks and all this and that. And they would have a truck tore up in no time. And they would lose guns and leave them at other people's house and, put them somewhere and don't remember where they were put and all that. And that's kind of the way they explain this. The friend was explaining Paul today how he would just leave his stuff just anywhere. Brown Bear, they did a body cam video whenever they searched their gun room. They probably have about 25 to 30 guns that was just in their house the day that the body cam was done. Not counting what else they had on the rest of their property and the other buildings, and like if they had left them at friend's house or anything else. But if you got to think, if they, let's just say Paul, Buster, and Alec, if they deer hunted, hog hunted, turkey hunted, they dove hunted, quail hunted, and then duck hunted, that's 4 rifles or 3 rifles, 3 shotguns each, at least, at the minimum. Plus the 2 blackout rifles that they had. So I'm sure each one of them had multiple guns. They did a lousy search of the house. Did they even go in the rest of the house? Because I remember somebody asking the one cop that was in the gun room, and like, y'all could have searched any part of that house. And the guy was like, well, I was just mostly interested in their gun room. Oh, Brown Bear, Alex was crying. Like, every time they showed him, he was snatching tissue out of the box, wiping his eyes and nose and all that. I think he knows that he's screwed. And he was just throwing them tears out there to try to make the jury feel sorry for him and think that he's really hurt about his son and wife being murdered, and trying to make it like he didn't do it, while he's cutting his eyes up to see if the jury members are looking at him. Just 1 second. I'm just catching up on some of the comments that I missed. Okay, the thing about the 2 witnesses said that it was Alex is that it seems to hurt their heart to testify that, which in my opinion makes it so sad and daring. And 7th row, yeah, you could tell the boy that testified today, Rogan, like, he at one point he answered a question about Paul, and you could hear his voice cracking. Like, he was very upset to have to get up there and testify that that was Alec's voice that he heard on the video just a few minutes before he was murdered. But he might be a good actor. Brown Bear, he was for sure putting on an act. And if anybody didn't watch The Friend on the Stand today, y'all should go back and watch it. It's very sad. I will warn y'all that. It's very sad. But it's worth watching. Like, The Friend did a really good job of getting up there and testifying to try to bring justice to his best friend and his best friend's mama, who he thought of as his second mom. His acting skills are shit, yeah. Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, go back and watch today's hearing. I was busy cleaning. Yeah, I will warn you though, Brown Bear, if you do, it's heartbreaking having to watch the friend testify. Carrie, his head bobbing annoys me. I don't know why. Like, the crying part annoys me because it's just like, yeah, you're just, in my mind, he's putting on. The head bobbing, I don't know if he's doing it as a self-soothing type thing or if it's just like a nervous tick that he has or what it is. But the head bobbing was crazy. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't do it all the time, though. Like, there'll be sometimes he's sitting there in the chair and he's looking normal. Like, he's not, doesn't look like he's upset. Don't look like he's crying. He looks just like an attorney sitting at a table in court. And then other times you look at him and he's, like I said, he's shaking tissues out of the tissue box, wiping his eyes down, wiping his nose. He's got his head down where you can't even really tell if he's even really crying. Been trying to read Buster's face. Can't. Seventh row. It's just, he sits there. He anytime I've ever seen him on camera, he doesn't have any expressions on his face. Like, there's no sadness. There's nothing, like he's upset on what happened to his brother and his mama. He's not crying. He's not looking down. He's literally looking at what's going on in court with no expression whatsoever. I think he does it to get attention to feel. Yeah, he's wanting that jury, y'all. He is like putting on an act. And like I said before, I'm sure his attorneys have told him to do that. Show emotions in the court for the jury. And it's super weird how Buster looks. I don't get it. Like, he has showed absolutely no emotion. You would think of because Buster's not that old. But you would think that his mama and his brother were murdered and his dad is on trial for the murder. You would think this boy would be like super ass upset. Like, crying, unconsolable. Like, there's nothing. He just sits there and he has this normal, same look on his face. And that's, it doesn't change. Yeah, Brown Bear, Buster's the oldest son. Okay, I didn't know he said it like that, Lawnmower Man, but I did hear where a reporter had asked him about him sitting behind his dad, that they assume he's as he's for his dad. He supports his dad. And Buster told him, you should assume nothing. So it sounds like to me like he, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, maybe he just doesn't want it getting out. I don't know. He's very hard to read because his facial expressions never change. He just sits there. He may lean up in his seat every now and then and like prop his arms up on his knees, but other than that, he just sits there. His face never changes. Hey Molly, how are you? Maybe Buster is there to hear every bit of evidence so he can decide for himself. I mean, that could be it. But it would still seem like, he would be somewhat. Um, and Molly, I'm doing good, thank you. It seems like Buster would be some type of upset, though. You know what I'm saying? This boy, there was 4 in the family: Alec, Maggie, Buster, Paul. Alec is on trial for the murder of his mama and his brother. Literally, like, he's the only one in that family of 4 who was left. Like, the mama and the brother's deceased, and the daddy's about to go to jail for the rest of his life. And Buster is just kind of like, just out here on his own. Like, I know he's got his aunt and his uncles. He's got other family member, but just out of the family of 4, like, he's the only one out. Like, he's by himself, and you would think that he would have some type of emotion, and he has none. It's just, and I know people handle, different people handle different situations differently, but Alex has Buster's secrets. He has to play nice dad. I mean, there's been other things that's crossed my mind with Buster. Like, is there something that Alec is, covering for Buster for? But I'm not going to go there because, I don't know that for 100%. And Brown Bear, I don't know if he was living at the house, but they're saying that during the time of the murders that he was out of town. Yeah, money will just change a person. Some people, like, there's people around here that have money, but if you look at them, you wouldn't think that they do. They don't act like they're better than people. They don't act all up-de-dee-doo and all that. They're not snobbish. And then you've got some people who live around here that's got money, and they're very snobbish. They won't speak to people. Um, they literally think they're better than other people. So, you know, money makes people act different. Or some people it does. Some people it don't change at all. But with this family here, there's no telling what type of secrets they have. I mean, we've already heard about what all Alec was in. Brown Bear, I don't either. I'd much rather deal with a person who is just down to earth. Okay, then you got ones who live off credit and act rich and stuck up. Seventh row, that is true too. They got a lot of things, but they don't own any of it because they're paying a note on it. So, like, they literally don't even own it. The people that they're paying monthly bills to still own it. Dino, how are you? I just get by, work hard from. That's the best way to do it too, White Widow baby. Yeah, the old money is where they protect generational wealth at all costs. And I'm sure the Murdaughs probably thought they have a reputation to uphold because of their family name, and you know that family name is basically ran that district for years and years and years. Let's see, let me catch up one more time. Okay, if you cannot pay cash, I don't get it. So I don't get a lot. I ain't leaving my kids in debt. No, I don't do credit cards. I don't like credit cards. I don't do notes on stuff. Like, I get some people have to do that, and that's fine. Me, I choose not to. But there's some people who will. They will literally go and get a house note, 2 or 3 truck notes. They'll get like ATVs that they're paying notes on, like just all these different things. And they don't own shit because they're still paying people for it. Like, they don't own it outright. But they think, and my aunt and uncle, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, my neighbors are like the world's worst. They have all this nice shit at their house, but don't own none of it. They're paying notes on it every month. I don't like credit cards, White Will baby. Like, credit cards can get people in trouble. It's just, it's, you spend $20 on it and you're paying back $50. Like, I don't want to do that. If I spend $20 on something, that's all I want to spend on it is the $20. I don't. People work too hard for their money. Okay, I took a loan once, immediately paid it because it only told me about how they raise the interest fee on an impossible rate. Yeah. Yep. I mean, damn. It's bad enough you got to pay your electric bill every month, your phone bill every month, your water bill every month, insurance. It's bad enough we had to pay that. Like, I don't want a note, because if something happens, you get a vehicle note and then something happens and then you're not able to pay it, then they come out and they take your vehicle and the money that you paid on it is just wasted. And I don't like wasting money either. This shit's too hard to come by to waste it. All right, y'all. 1 second. Let me look over everything and make sure I've got everything out of the way. Hold on 1 second, y'all. My rent is $1,800, so I know damn well I ain't trying to make. That's what I'm saying. Shit's too expensive. To go, just like with yours, White Widow baby, you pay $1,800 a month on rent. Then you got, I'm sure, your water, electric, and stuff like that, insurance on cars, and then you go get a car note and you're paying $500 or $600 a month for that. It's ridiculous. Like, I get some people have to do it, but yes, Marissa, it was like, how much was the Gucci receipt? Was it $1,800? Was that what it was? That is just, I'm sorry. I've watched some of these rich ass people, like, oh shit, what is it? Real Housewives. Some of them women on there pay $98,000 for a damn purse. I'm sorry, that's a fucking house for somebody. That's several houses for the homeless. They're gonna pay that much money for a purse. That's fucking crazy. And Dino, that is true too. Like if you want to build your credit up, which is a good thing, because I think everybody needs credit, but some people don't know how to act with credit. Like they think they get a little bit of credit and they just go slap loon ass crazy with it, and they start getting shit and then it's like I said, something happens and you can't pay it back, and then you've lost all the money that you've paid on the item, and then it fucks your credit up. People pay for things on eBay. A reseller, it is crazy. Nothing. Yeah, that's your channel. Thank you, Justice Jane. That was very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I get people work hard for the money, and when they're rich, you can. Princess, how are you? You can spend your money on whatever you want, but when you go $98,000 for a Hermes purse, I'm sorry. Like you can do a lot of things for the homeless people in Los Angeles with $98,000. Like you can go feed the homeless, you can get them a house, you can build several. That's stupid as hell. I'm sorry. Go feed some hungry kids or something like that with it. Hold on one second. Okay. What happened? See, I love scouting for Amazon, but the weight of the box is too much. Okay. See, I'm too low maintenance for all this stupid shit. No damn. Seventh row. What about people who put like $100,000 worth of diamonds in their mouth, on their teeth? I'm sorry. I'm not putting $100,000 worth of jewelry in my mouth and then go eat food on it. That's crazy. And I'm for sure not going to walk around with a purse that's. I wouldn't even walk around with a $600, $700 purse. Somebody go snatch it off of you, and that's once again wasted money. I hate wasting money. Yes, Justice Jane, that was very nice of you. Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm fixing to get out of here. Let's see. Okay. But that purse sure would go with that one special outfit. Yeah, Dino, that they only wear once. I don't get it. Why the hell you gonna? Why buy clothes if you're only gonna wear it once? Can barely afford to feed myself after feeding my dogs. I ain't gonna bedazzle my mouth. Marissa, I don't understand it. Like I said, people can spend their money on what they want, but it's crazy, honestly. Hey, Brown Bear, it is 2:42 here. I actually would start at late tonight. Seventh row, you have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And Carrie, you're very welcome. Crime Crazy, you're welcome as well. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get out of here so I can go to bed. I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all tomorrow night back at my usual time at 10:30. So y'all have a good night.